How's everybody doing? We're back with Donkey Kong. Took a week off so we can have our Spooky Fest celebrations, which I gotta say thank you to everyone who was very supportive during that week-long celebration. Format worked really well this year. But besides the point, we're back with some more Donkey Kong this time around, making our way through World 7, and seems to be a fan favorite according to the chat here. Hey there, Aiden. Hey there, Jay Hazen. How you two doing? We got ourselves an interesting one because, yeah, World 7, probably one of my favorite worlds in the game as well. But that boss, on the other hand, no, that's my least favorite boss in this game. That's the part I'm not looking forward to. On a normal run, that chicken gives me a lot of problems. So I don't know how this is going to go for the hard mode playthrough here at mirror mode. We'll just have to see. The bosses have been my Achilles heel for this series, so I don't expect this one to be any different. But let's just go ahead without any further ado, get the game loaded up here, and just kind of jump in the deep end on some of that hard stuff. I think I remember the stage you're talking about there too, Aiden, with the K level. I'm trying to remember how it's going to go, but that one probably going to have some issues with. The K levels have also been the Achilles heel, I've noticed. So we'll have to see how that goes. Hey Matt, how you doing? I will say, in that intro, you may see the machine set up behind me. I might periodically take a quick pause break to check on things. I'm copying some data between SD cards. I had to dig out an old computer just to do that, because I don't have anything else with an SD card reader besides a 10-year-old laptop. So, yeah, might be checking that in a bit. Alright, well, let's just get this started. 7-1, Foggy Fumes. It's actually kind of nice that we start with a silhouette level. Haven't seen this since World 1. It's been a hot minute, but here we are, finally, another silhouette level. Only more than 60% through the game, but hey, at least there's more than one. I love the aesthetic of this, especially with the old Donkey Kong arcade game layout in the back. Like, this is just pretty cool to see. This is, I think it's just your banana horde. This is just to teach you about the mechanics for later. Okay, give me that K. Swing this around. One of these, I believe, does have a puzzle piece, so I should just spin the fan blades here and there just to make sure. Waiting for Pogo Man, because I don't want to land on the electric head. That would be stupid. Hard day at work. Yeah, I can understand that. Sorry to hear it. Getting into it as supervisor is never fun. This is one of the SD cards you sent. Actually, no, I'm actually using a different one, but that's funny you said that, because I don't know if you got my text yesterday, but I did send it to you just to let you know we got the package in. Took a lot longer than I was expecting because there were some issues with the post office, but I think at this point, issues and post office, those two words kind of go hand in hand nowadays, especially with current state of events. So that's nothing new. Yeah, that's actually safer to go up above at this point. Helping your problem, yeah. You told the story back on the Splatfest stream we had about a week or so ago. By the way, before I go any further with that, nice Game & Watch reference in the background too. It's a blink in, you miss it one with all the action, but when you stop and appreciate the stage, you can see the dude banging his hammer on the pipe. Wonder what he's doing back there. I don't think the pipe needs any fixing. Yeah, I might have missed a piece already. I'm not 100% sure. I'm just going with the motions. There's this one up ahead, which obviously that one is my next piece. That should be piece number 2. Yeah. Go backwards like that. Thankfully, these are solid platforms. I didn't think it was for a second. You can take the death now if you really didn't want to do all this again, but what's the point? Easy platforming. Okay, you're in like a bad spot to start this. Not normally a problem when you can take a hit, but right now, yeah, can't do that. Need him to high jump. Oh yeah, this is a gimmick here too that I'm gonna have to get used to. The fog in this area isn't just an aesthetic. Some of it actually hides stuff in a puff of cloud. Like I blow it away. Which honestly, I don't really like that, because there are certain collectibles that go missed because you don't think of blowing a cloud, which is like, I think the only time in the game they do something like this. There we go, good cycle. Yeah, like right here's, I think, an area where you have to know how to do that already, because there's collectibles in the clouds, but for whatever reason you can't collect them. If the clouds are here, you gotta blow them away. I don't like this, because right here is a puzzle piece, if I remember correctly. Yeah, you can't collect that if the cloud's there, which is really weird. Not a gimmick I'm a fan of. You're gonna... Yeah, this is kind of a bad cycle. I'm just gonna take it slow. Get up here. There we go. Yeah, that was a bad cycle compared to the last time I respawned from checkpoint. That was kind of a mess. That is true, Jay Hazen. There is a Metroid secret in Tropical Freeze. You can see it. I can't remember what stage it was. It's in one of the underwater, or was it the beginning of the game? But there's a stage you just see Samus's ship from the Metroid Prime series. It's just flat out in the middle of the level as a background object, which is a nice little attention to detail that makes no sense for Donkey Kong, but it's a nice nod to the other games that Retro worked on. Okay, I thought I pulled back enough, but that was my bad. Gotta get that rust off, because it's been about 2 weeks again. But I can go into that little story now. You mentioned it before, Matt, because, yeah, I got the package in that you guys sent. For those who didn't hear the story, I'll recap it a little bit, because it's not really my story to tell, so I'll recap my side of it. I got a call one night from a friend, and they're like, hey, you want 5 1TB SD cards? Like, huh? So there was a mix-up with an Amazon order, and someone got 10 SD cards for the price of 1. So that's Amazon's bad. And at that point, they just lost the product. They can't do anything about it. They tell you to keep the product when that kind of stuff happens, because it's just an error they just eat. So the other day in the mail, I got... One's already in use, so just pretend this one wasn't open. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of the same one. They're all 1TB SD cards, which came just in time as I just was starting to run out of space on a 400 gig SD card in my Steam Deck. So I've already replaced that one with a 1TB. And now I'm kind of working through the motion of what I do with the Air 4. Because I'm kind of repurposing some here and there. I'm a guy that likes repurposing my tech. So I have some other stuff that's like, well, it's not going to use this much space. So I'll just give it a smaller card. So my original Switch, I'm giving like a 200 gig card, because it doesn't need any more than 200 gigs. It barely gets used. My Switch OLED, I'm putting back in the 400 for now, but I might up that to 1 terabyte. I'm not sure yet. So I'm trying to think of uses for some of these, because I don't have uses for 5. But hey, you can't complain when it's all free. And I appreciate that, Matt. Thank you for that, because you guys really got a weird order, and benefited a lot of people that day. There we go. Alright, just wait for the spike. And I can just hit this and we're good to go. Probably will have to replay the stage, because, yeah, from what we were saying there in chat, I might have missed one puzzle piece in the beginning. It was a banana trail. But that's okay, I'll go back in and get it. after the fact at this point. Because I'm mainly at this point just wanting to get those Kong letters, and we'll get the pieces along the way. Okay, yeah, that was dangerous because I can't see anything with these clouds. Another puzzle piece. Just put two next to each other, why don't you? And I jumped prematurely. Yeah, this part's kind of annoying. It's mainly when you gotta go backwards. It's not that bad when you're going forwards, but it's backtracking that you don't want to do. Well, essentially, don't miss the G if you're just going for Kong letters. If I only missed that one in the beginning, then that's actually not bad. Because that means that I have every puzzle piece, but just a beginning one. And that's probably why, because it's probably one of these. I'll double check when we're done here anyways. Ah, wait a minute. Actually, it may have been that. I just saw the tube at the end as soon as I hit the ground. I was just wanting to see, and I forgot this was an auto section where it just sends you forward. It's fine, that's why I have a page up so I can fact check this. Okay, no, that piece I grabbed that was just off the camera, that was piece 7. I'm gonna just scroll down, what's piece number 7 here really quick. It is a fan blade. I didn't do that one, right? No, I got that one. Never mind. 6, 5. Let's see, here's number 4. Got that one. So I guess it's piece 3. No, I got that one. Piece 2. It was literally the first piece. And I think it was the fan blade. I was demonstrating that it would have an unlock. And it was the one thing I didn't fully check because I thought the first one was just going to be a coin. And I have too many coins, so who cares? That's fine. We get a victory lap. Plus I can catch up and chat a little bit as I'm doing this. Yeah, that was like a $900 mix-up Amazon did. You order one SD card, which is like 90 bucks, something like that. And then they're like, here, we'll just give you 9 more in the same package. That is a very expensive mix-up. Whoever does that, yeah, they get in major trouble for it. And that's on them. Because, I mean, as the customer, yeah, you're just kind of set. It's not really your responsibility that Jim at the office put like a wrong number at the end of that order form. Because that's exactly what happened, probably. I think I get it. I missed 1 or 2 of the bananas in the bunch. And it didn't count because of that alone at the spawn. It's on the first fan blade. I was wondering why I didn't trigger. Now I got it. I forget how picky this one was. Because it's just, you literally gotta grab everything. And then it spawns. You miss one of those collectibles, you have to reset the whole process, which means take that, Def. I hate that. It's just so stupid. All of this and Tropical Freeze, I've complained about that enough over the past couple years. Between the 2 different series of this Donkey Kong stuff I've done. It's very much a guide-friendly moment, because there's no way an average person's gonna know that on the first playthrough. But, I guess, yeah, while I'm going back through this, I do want to shout out the people who were around for the Spooky Fest this past week. It was a new formula I was trying for the Halloween season, where I'm really only just sacrificing 1 week of streams for the Halloween-related themed things we were doing. And I had a lot of really good reception. I would just want to thank people who were, you know, coming out to those set broadcasts, you know, hang out and chat those, set days, and just, in general, shared those had good vibes in it, because it was a different experience for me, just kind of making an event theme for it instead. And are you serious? How was that a gimp jump? Nice. It was definitely a formula I think that worked out well, to a point where I'm gonna probably end up doing that going forward for each year for Halloween. It does allow us to do more, in general, because I can just check out stuff for like that one specific time period. So we get more variety too. And I really like that. I think my favorite day of that was probably the Tuesday of last week, the B33 thing. Because I legit really liked B3313 as a ROM hack for Mario 64. It made me feel very uncomfortable the entire time, which was the whole point. Plus, having a dev in chat for that was also really cool. Not the first time we've had that happen, but every time we've seen that happen for like a mod or a ROM hack is always really cool. They don't really advertise that to like the creators of the ROM hack that, hey, I'm some random dude on the internet. I'm playing your game if you want to see it. They just show up. I love that because it's a senseless community from the actual creators of those projects too. I just want to see what this is. Yeah, that's what I thought. There's like nothing on these blades. Just those 4 bananas and a coin. Alright, plug me in. Alright, I guess while it's loading, let me go check my status, which I'm literally just next door. Yep, that says 2 hours. Something tells me that's not 2 hours because that said that for the past hour? So I think it's more like 3. Shout out to technology that's apparently e-waste nowadays. Because that can't run Windows 11. Even though it definitely can run Windows 11. I've done it for, at this point, probably 4 years. But I just got tired of it and swapped to Linux. And that's been doing way better with Linux distro than anything else, honestly. It just doesn't feel as bloated, so when I click a program, it opens like that. Compared to Windows, where it kind of dragged. The flavor of Linux for that one is Bazite, because I wanted something that was similar to the Steam Deck one, just so I can get familiar with the Steam Deck before I got it. I did not mean to jump that far. I pulled back and everything. These conveyors have some weird momentum, if I remember correctly, at first. This discount thwomps. I mean, I guess they might as well be like thwomps here with these pistons. Never heard them described that way before, but it makes a lot of sense. Actually, I should probably keep that chicken alive. Then I can just do this. I can't make it. That's fine. Got a little scared there. It's like, I'd be crushed or fall. I think one of them. It's not as painful. What's nice is that in this part of the game, we get to hear the factory remix from the original Donkey Kong Country, and the remix in this game is really good. The factory theme from DKC is legit one of my favorite songs from any game. It's just so good. Those are supposed to be hearts. Guess what we don't get. Too much momentum. Again, these things have weird momentum. Like, the conveyors push you backwards, but as soon as you jump, you get, like, launched forward like a slingshot. And I don't know what's the correlation on that direction momentum, because it doesn't make any sense to me. That's just video game things. And then what's a hitbox? To be fair, these electric orbs do have kind of a big hitbox to them. A little bit bigger than what they look. Which is, at this point, I guess, par for the course with things in this game. It's the spikes are the same. There we go. It's better not to do a roll jump off of this stuff, because with the conveyors having such a harsh momentum to them when you do the roll jump, it's like you're on solid ground, but the ground is moving. When you do the roll, it's like it's not moving. So you get your standard momentum, but when you jump, you don't really have that. It's really weird. So it's just something you get used to. Essentially, just try not to roll jump if you're gonna get off a conveyor and you think you can make a normal jump. And that's like the one piston, too, you actually want to be on. Which is scary, because most of those usually crush you. That's the one that doesn't. Just a quick secret detour, don't mind me. No, it's okay. We're just gonna delay this. That's fine. Don't worry about it. It's not like we're on a timer. And it's cool they shoot you right back up in an area that can get crushed. So if you weren't paying attention, you walked away for a split second, you will get crushed by that. I haven't done it myself, but I've seen other people do it in a playthrough or two, which is always funny. Wait this one out, because I'm going to roll jump over. Perfect. I'm waiting until we get to the bomb roosters. That's not until, like, another level or two, I think. They're here. Oh, man, I thought I was getting crushed there for a second, because DK's booty was on the other side of the wall. So I thought that would count as crushing. Get out. Just enough time. At this point, I'm actually going to start using the analog stick more here. I don't normally like using the analog stick for 2D games, but that's how you walk in this game with the more modern controls. And you definitely need to walk it here. And I was trying to... Oh my god, okay. So, can I preference things really quick by just saying this past week, I've been playing a lot of a game called 20XX on my Steam Deck. You might be familiar with that if you've seen this challenge video I put out on the game years ago on the channel. It's a roguelike Mega Man game. Here's where this point's coming in. That platform I was standing on, because of how much 20XX I played, I thought I was holding down and jump to jump down it. Alright, that's gotta be a thing I train myself not to do fast, because I've been dealing with those kind of platforms in a game a lot as of late. So, don't try that again. Doesn't work the same way. God, you hate when you play a game with like one mechanic, you go to play another one, that mechanic doesn't exist. Your brain is taught to have that one specific thing in mind. And that's for a lot of games. How many people do I see play, say, like, a modern game, and then they go back to a game that has inverted-only controls and wonder why things feel off when they're trying to aim? It happens all the time if you see someone play anything modern and go back to, like, at this point, even as early as, like, the PlayStation 2 era of stuff. Like, even, like, early day, like, PS3 360 games still had their default controls set inverted. So a lot of people were still dealing with that mindset if you go back to an earlier, like, one of the very early, like, Call of Duties or, like, Battlefield or something. Although, during that generation, we started to add toggles, so people actually played how they wanted. Yeah, that's a good point to even bring up, too, there, Jay Hazen. Yeah, we're going to be actually checking out that demo for Kirby Air Riders this upcoming Saturday. I'm really looking forward to it. The fact that City Trial is in the demo is insane, just because that's literally the selling point for most people about Kirby Air Ride. And the fact that it's in this online demo for the sequel, that's already going to bring in a lot of people for the demo itself. People are wondering what kind of characters are going to be available. I think the running theory right now are just the characters they announced for the amiibo. So it would be Kirby, King Dedede, Bandana D, and Meta Knight, I believe, is the current theory going around. Maybe it'll be more, but I think those four makes the most sense. I'm looking forward to it. It looks like the first actual time I'll be able to play. which is why I'm scheduling the stream around it, is going to be around 7 p.m. on that Saturday. Because any other time period, it's like, man, you gotta wake up like early morning just to play some Kirby. I'm good. I mean, the demo's gonna go on for like, what, 6 hours? So I don't think it really matters what time you get up and play the game. It's gonna be available for quite a long time during that time slot. And I appreciate that, because normally these demos are like an hour or two long at most. This is way past that. Like 6. I haven't seen much about the Kirby Air Rider stuff because I haven't been watching any of those directs, and I'm glad I haven't, because apparently it sounds like Sakurai was giving away a lot of the secrets to just some of the newer modes in the game and some of the things you can do in it. It's like, that's cool. Trying to go in as blind as possible, so I haven't seen a lot of it, and I'm glad I haven't. I just know about certain characters because of social media stuff. Other than that, I've been trying to keep the news to a bare minimum, which has been working out. Did I get all the puzzle pieces? Yeah, I wasn't even paying attention to that. But we're good. First try. Didn't have to replay the level. Cool, that's one less tab to have opened. I heard that there was something that Sakurai was talking about in, I think it was the latest Air Riders Direct, saying he was wanting to share this one thing with people, but he'll keep it a secret because it is kind of a spoiler. But even he was starting to realize he was talking up a little too much about what was in the game. I see what you did there, Aiden. You might need a hand. Get it? It's gonna get slapped. I will say, though, this stage is interesting. Man, it's not great when you're playing on the handheld screen. It's near the end. Like, this part's fine. But once you get to the end, it zooms out the camera like crazy. So you can't really see it on, like, the 7-inch display. Thankfully, this one's malfunctioning. So I can just chill here. I can jump. Wait my time. Yeah, I don't like doing this with Donkey alone. That's more of a Diddy Kong related jump. But yeah, no, that Kirby Air Rider demo is happening, what, 2 weekends in a row? It's this weekend and next weekend, and then after that, the whole game is out. So they picked a really good time to have the demo stuff actually go live. So I'm looking forward to it. It's gonna be one of the very few Switch 2 exclusives. True exclusive, mind you. No Switch 1 upgrades or third-party port. So I hope that's gonna be more of a reason for some people to, you know, pick up their Switch 2s. Because honestly, I did just finish Donkey Kong Bonanza this past week. I could talk about that now, too, as I have some thoughts about it. And I will say that's still a reason to probably get a Switch 2, but to some people, I've heard it's not enough of a reason yet because they need more, which is understandable. I wouldn't buy a console just for one game. That's not really great. I didn't mean to actually do that. Just kind of tunnel vision there. I personally think Bonanza's worth it for the Switch 2 right now. I wouldn't say the DLC's worth it, though. Oh my god, dude. That DLC... legitimately, I don't even know what they were thinking with it. It's worthless in one area and then kind of bare bones in the other, so a lot of people are not happy with it. I can understand it. I liked the Emerald Rush stuff. I thought the event they're doing for it right now is pretty bad because it was grindy for the sake of being grindy, and once I got the reward, I didn't really feel satisfied. I kind of just felt relieved once I got the little 1 million emerald ore you needed for it, because of how long it took. It took me over an hour and a half to get a good run, because each is 30 minutes long. It's very repetitive, and you have to play a very specific way, which I'm never a fan of in games. So I wasn't a fan of the event. Hopefully they tweak the reward system in the future. Honestly, take notes from Splatoon 3's extra work, because it's kind of that. This Emerald Rush event thing is very similar. So make it so the rewards unlock over time instead of a cumulative total. That's the part that really sucks in my opinion. That's where they went kind of too far. Okay, this is not the one. I thought this is a section you had to collect all the stuff around you and you get a puzzle piece. I think one of these is going to happen in the future with cannons. Although this is gonna start now. The bomb roosters. And overshot. Nice going. I want to get up to the top with that other barrel. And that didn't work out. This is really a Diddy stage, flat out. Doing this with just solo Donkey is not ideal. I'm gonna wait here a second. There we go. But, no, to get back to the Bonanza stuff, I will say that DLC, kind of a mixed bag. I think it's fun enough, but it's not worth $20. It's a little too shallow, I think, for 20 bucks, so if you really enjoy Bonanza and want that roguelike mode, I would say go for it, but most people probably, they're best to wait for a while on that one. In case there's a possible sale or you get some, like, eShop credit or something. Then maybe. But as it is, no. The main game, though, Chef's Kiss, I really loved it. Which I'm not surprised, because I was really enjoying taking my time throughout that adventure. I did kind of double time it near the end because I wanted to try this event before it was gone, which that's the biggest complaint I have with the DLC. It's a timed event with a system that you have to... It's so poorly advertised. You need to beat the main game of Donkey Kong Bonanza to access the DLC, minus a sneak peek around, like, the race layer, which I can't remember what it was. I think it was like 1,100, 1,200? Something like that. So it's more than halfway through the game, and it's just a sneak peek, because you're just there by yourself, no Pauline, no transformations, nothing like that. Like, alright, why am I here? And thus, I immediately left to go beat the rest of the adventure, and I enjoyed my time with it. Dear God, that final boss was a PowerPoint, though. Oh my gosh. The game's a little too ambitious with its graphics. It looks great, but I do think a frame rate cap might have been beneficial in some areas, because it was getting a little unplayable near the end, sadly. Much better if you're on handheld mode, though, because Bonanza is one of the few games that takes advantage of the VRR support on the Switch 2, so the variable refresh rate on the handheld screen. And it really does feel like Bonanza was built for that screen in mind, because, oh my god. The final boss especially really showed it. Like, some bosses get really laggy. That final one, there was just too many graphical effects at one point. It was dropping down to, like, the teens on frame rate. Very, very noticeable. And it was to a point where it was starting to affect your control. That's the only problem I have with it, which I hope they eventually patch the game to fix some of those performance issues on docked, because it is very noticeable. I think it's the biggest complaint people have actually had with the game. It's just bad performance in some areas, and you can see why. This is also another Diddy section, because I believe I need all these for a puzzle piece. And I can't fly, so this just sucks. Yeah, okay, so I wasn't the only one having that problem, too. Yeah, Jason, when you're saying you were dying at the final part of the final boss, like, yeah, I think I know which section you're talking about in the fight exactly. It's when the dude throws up all of these projectiles at you, like bombs, and it's like morphing the area around you with its attacks. That's when the frame rate just tanked. And the best way I found to get around that is just to get rid of as much on screen as possible, which is kind of hard to do, because you have to be moving fast in the fight to do that. Okay, there's nothing on this one. One of these, I swear, has a thing. But yeah, that final boss was hard for the wrong reasons. Like, it's not a hard fight in concept, but oh my god, those frames made it hard. That's the only problem. Okay, cool, I made it. Yo, I heard you like a puzzle piece, so I'll put a puzzle piece next to the puzzle piece. Yeah, I mean, I didn't really have trouble with the boss. I died a couple times at the end of Bonanza, but again, it was for all the wrong reasons. It was the frame rate thing. Once I was understanding when the game was starting to lag, I was starting to get better at it, and then like the next attempt I had on it, once I figured out where it lags, I barely took any hits. I think I took like 2 tops. So it was no problem. Like, it's not a hard final boss. The thing that makes it hard is just performance. That's all. But again, if you're playing in handheld mode, you don't even notice the performance problems because of that VRR screen. Yeah, it didn't really look right. I agree. Having 2 puzzle pieces that close together almost feels kind of like a joke. Like, wait, are you serious about this? I mean, I'm not complaining. I'll take the free ones. There we go. Almost missed that because that moves very fast. And I love when you fail that section because you literally just get slapped out. By the way, don't pay attention there. No problem. Just look for Donkey and Diddy's head. That sucks if you're rushing it, though. Yeah, I've heard that the speed runs for Bonanza are very interesting. Now that I beat the main game, I'm definitely going to probably check out some. I heard that that game has some insane movement, pretty much like Mario Odyssey. And that's not too surprising because of just how intense the movement for Mario Odyssey is for speedrunning. And that's what makes it a cool watch. Yeah, the nearly impossible to miss collectibles, because I believe this is an auto-scrolling kind of stage. I think this is... Yeah, no, I remember this one now. It's a rocket barrel stage, that's why. Oh yeah, this is the one with the stupid puzzle piece. That is next to impossible to avoid. Notice I have 0-7, so I did avoid it. I've shown this in one of the streams, like the very first one. But it is possible to avoid the puzzle piece here, if this is the stage I'm thinking of. But barely. It is literal pixels away from being collected if you do it correctly. Yeah, that is exactly what I was thinking then, so thank you for clarifying, Aiden. This is the stage then. The rocket barrel stage with the gears has a puzzle piece that is essentially impossible to miss. You would really have to be trying to miss it. So with that said, it took me an hour to skip it, because it was so close. And I had to constantly reset if I grabbed the stupid thing, which was a lot of wasted time. And this was on Switch 1, because this was right before the Switch 2 was even a thing. So that sucked. The loading times on the original Switch 1 hardware for this game is not great. Yeah, the hardest part about this stage is just not dying, honestly. Because the collectibles, for the most part, aren't that bad. You got some collectibles here and there you gotta get. In a pattern like so. I think I actually might have screwed it up, because isn't there one there? I think on the final banana patch. Can't remember if that last one was a trigger. I'm just gonna make sure really quick, because I just don't want to redo this again for no reason. Because there's no point. After the K... 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that is the case. I'll just redo it now just to get it out of the way, because it's literally right here. So I might as well. Anyone playing Getting Hybrid Warriors? Yeah, that's a good question to ask. I'm interested in it. I hear it's pretty good so far based on reviews, especially with performance. I'm probably just going to hold off for now because of how... It's coming out like a couple weeks right before Kirby, and I have more of a priority to that. So I might end up picking it up next month. We'll see. Wait, also, I just remembered something. Wasn't this... Yeah, okay. Yeah, that's where it was. So that banana trail was nothing. I did hear one weird thing about the reviews, though, for Hyrule Warriors, which has nothing to do with the game, it's just corporate crap. Some reviewers, like IGN, apparently had to wait to put out the reviews because of embargoes. So it sounded like the embargo was a little too close to release this time around, which is not ideal. But Nintendo's been doing it a lot more as of late, I've noticed. Their review embargo dates are getting dangerously close to street date. To a point where even sometimes they don't give out review copies, so... That's nothing new, it's just getting more egregious. I'm usually that person, if I'm not sure if I'm gonna buy a game or not, I wait until the reviews are out. So, for me, that doesn't really change much. I know what to expect for a Warriors game. They all play the exact same, so it's not like it's rocket science to figure out its formula. You just want to know how its story compares to other games, especially with Zelda. I still need to beat Tears of the Kingdom, so that's probably another reason why I might wait a bit for the newest Hyrule Warrior, since it's based off of that game's story. And that's just more because of I didn't have enough time in 23 to play it, so I only got a couple hours in, but I'm wanting to get back to it at some point now soon because of the Switch 2 edition, and that just sounds like a much better way of playing. I played like an hour of it so far with the Switch 2 edition, and yeah, much better. No frame drops. It looks gorgeous in 4K. At 60 frames is nice. Don't really need it for a game like that, but it looked good. That barely counted. I'm shocked. Alright, here we go. This is the one up ahead. Not this one. This is the one. Piece number 6. If you miss this, it is literally because you were trying intentionally to miss it. I will cue the clip when we're done here, because I gotta find it again. But this upcoming puzzle piece is essentially... It's blocked in such a way between death around it that there's almost no way that you would miss it. So if you do, I think that's more impressive than actually getting the puzzle piece. So let's go ahead and grab it. There we go. Yeah, that should have been collected already. Trying to avoid that piece for this series was an absolute nightmare. I've told this story in session 1, but I will reiterate for the people who weren't there for that beginning of the Tropical Freeze. The Returns smear mode stuff. There we go. Give me that one. That's it. Now we just gotta get the Kong letters. I do remember this final piece kind of being a little bit of a pain to grab, though, because it's a little too close to one of these walls. Am I mistaken? That was in that section. No, I just blanked again. I thought I had 6 of 7. I don't know why. Ignore me. Alright, let me pull up the clip for people who are unaware. I just gotta find it, so it's gonna take a minute. Yeah, I do like that gear section, though. That is actually one of my favorite parts of this world, aesthetically speaking. It's just a nice, visually appealing section to make your way through. Okay, so it's here, Switch OLED, 2025, I believe it's in February. Not that one. Could be this one. I think it's this clip. Oh yeah, that's right, last time I used VLC it crashed, because... I don't know, man, but every time I go to use VLC and I swap a sound device, it just gives up. Like, every time. I don't know why. Alright, let me go ahead and just show everyone the clip. I'm not going to play the music from it because I'm just going to show it straight from a VLC window. But that 6th puzzle piece specifically, that piece is designed in such a way where you can't miss it. As mentioned before, Aiden, you literally just fly straight into banana bunches, and there's almost no way you miss this because up above and down below, they're too close if you try to go under the piece or over to getting crushed, so you instantly die. But there's just barely enough of a gap where you can go under the puzzle piece. I think you might be able to go over, but it's a little too risky, so I recommend going under. So if you can go under it, you can skip the piece entirely. And that clip, I almost make it. It's that close. I tried again on another attempt, and here's how you can see the magic happens. In fact, if I zoom in instead, so you can get a better idea of how this works. It is literal pixels away from being skipped. This, honestly, was one of the hardest things. I thought Diddy Kong has a smaller hitbox, so I tried him. Donkey and Diddy, from my understanding, I think have basically the same hitbox for playing. But it felt better with Diddy Kong, so I tried it on player 2. And you just barely have enough of a gap to squeeze through. As you can see, the rocket is inside of a gear piece, which can crush you. But if you play your cards just right, you can skip through the entire section without getting the puzzle piece. Extremely difficult to do, just grab the stupid puzzle piece. Don't do this, because it's not worth it. But for the sake of this series, yeah, the only stage that we couldn't get puzzle pieces on is the final K level, because of that alone. And I'm very shocked. I'm never doing that again. That was the most pointless thing to do if it wasn't for this series. So, that was a one-time skip. Thank God. Alright, so I need to preference things now with these next levels. 7.5, 7.6, and 7.7. They all have a switch you need to find, which activates a secret piece in each level. All 3 switches need to be hit in order to actually go to the boss fight. So, for the sake of how this playthrough will work, the levels are already completed, which means the switches are already hit. I'm still going to have to go out my way at least once to find the switches. I'm going to make that a stipulation because if you're playing a new file, it's what you're required to do anyways. So we're going to play this like it is a new file just to see more of the level. There's nothing in those sections that we actually need. But we got a Dinith. I really feel I should have said find, but gotta read it in Muranese. Yeah, screw that. Just gonna wait here a second. And go. Ooh, a secret. Don't mind if I do. Why do I feel like... I don't know if they exist. I haven't looked. I have a feeling there's probably a Donkey Kong Country ROM hack. But I can feel like if that is the case, someone has got to made a secret where they give you a trail of bananas so you can fall down to go follow it. It's not a secret. It's a death trap. I can feel like if there is a Donkey Kong Country ROM hack of some kind, someone's got to have done that by now. That just seems to be the obvious trap. I'll take that, thank you. I forgot this has 9 puzzle pieces. That's the most we've seen. I was like, take your time. It's not like I need the O or anything. Yeah, these stages, yeah, they do have some of the weirder puzzle pieces, I remember correctly, as well. That one's kind of hard to see the secret right away. Yeah, there's one, yeah, you jump up some vertical platforms, jump off side, you grab one above you. Yeah, there are some that are, like, very, very hard to see off screen, or at least, like, any kind of hint to one. So I'm probably going to miss some here and there in these stages. I wouldn't be shocked. Especially given that there's 9 in total for this one. Because again, I forget that they bloated some of the later stages with puzzle pieces. We are getting near the end of the game, so there's why they're kind of cramming in more pieces now. Because there are less levels overall. This world only has a total of 7 when you don't count the K level. I forgot how far that sent you. Oh my god. That kind of threw me for a loop there for a second. I don't think I had to do anything over here, right? Yeah, that was just a nice skip. Which gives you a heart attack when you're forgetting it happens. Just want to check the stupid light. Yeah, that's why. I had a feeling there'd be one in a light, just like last time. No. I don't think I need that here. There should be a weighted bag I think I need a barrel for, but I don't think it's this. I need to jump up here so I can see what's up in this section. There we go. Yeah, because I got all these bananas. Gee, I wonder. Yeah. There's a reason why they go that high. There is something up there. Yeah, that's what I thought was over here. Alright, that's fine. Fine. Fine, that's what these are made of. The pits are made for death. Thankfully, I got a spare. Let him do his thing. I don't like this. I can't see. Okay, we're cool. We're cool. I hated that camera angle. There you go. Now to not die, because again, this is... I think you notice a trend in the factory world. A lot of these levels were really made for Diddy in mind as well, so not having the hover really sucks. Alright, this is my least favorite switch of the 3 to get, because my first playthrough I didn't understand. Wait, what do I do with this? Do I just like ground pound or something? Like, it took me a bit to figure it out. Because my idiot brain just thought when I was first playing this as a teenager, just walk around, maybe it starts to spin. Because a lot of platforms do that, but this is not one of them. You gotta smack the ground like the Switch. Speaking of switches, plug her in. So I didn't know you actually can plug these in mirror mode. I don't know what that actually accomplishes. Because it's mirror mode. Level's already beaten. It's just New Game Plus style. Make sure these are all bananas. All right, cool. All right, nice gimp jump. I hit the corner. I didn't even know that's possible. Oh. Well, I just make me waste my time. And thankfully, since I got the stupid puzzle piece in this section, well, stupid puzzle piece 2, I guess. I don't have to use the barrel anymore. I can just use her up on the enemies. Now, thankfully, when you die, you don't have to redo the switch, I think? I'm just checking. I think it should be active now, or is that just only when you beat the level? I don't know how they're handling this in mirror mode, because it's already active. Normally. Yeah, okay, so I have to do it again, which doesn't matter on mirror. What's the point in this? This is redundant. Why not? Now we're getting superpower. Not just any power. Thankfully, I can go back for that. Land here. Roll. There you go. I think they wanted you to make that the first time. How am I looking here? 7 to 9? I think I'm on track. Just wait this one out. Just be patient. I thought these were vines in the original game. Then you get the HD and it's like, oh, well, they're actually chained. Okay. On the Wii, it's kind of hard to see what this green blob actually looked like. Because, again, green blob on like a CRT. I think I can get on top of that. I want to try. Just to see if there's anything up there. Yeah. No good cycle. I can probably do it from down here. Donkey, no! He was on top, too. Actually standing, not sliding. I think that's the worst part, when you actually make the jump and then all of a sudden the character disagrees. Take this around. I'm gonna see if I can make it on top here. There's a good roll jump, you can just get up here. Alright, so let me make sure. Puzzle piece. You would think they would reward you for this, because this doesn't feel intended. No, there's nothing. What a letdown. I didn't mean let me down, that was hyperbolic. I just also realized, too, that death count wasn't on screen this whole time, was it? That's kind of my bad. I've been tracking internally. I had turned off for Spooky Fest, and I just saw it wasn't on. The counter's still accurate, though. I make sure of that. By the way, it was really good timing I'm doing this today and not yesterday, because apparently the program I use for a counter, that's not made by Elgato for like stream it. I'm using like a third-party one, the Bar Raider tools. Apparently, those plugins were all down this past couple days. I think they just recently got updated like a handful of hours ago. Like, very, very recent. Something to do with, like, the certificate expiring. So I just needed to push an update to fix that. So, good timing that I apparently am doing this today, not yesterday. If I was doing this yesterday, I would have to find a different counter, I guess. You know, just technology in general nowadays. When you think it works one day and it stops the next. Okay, wait. Where did I miss one? I'm trying to figure out where I could have gotten it. I can hold here for a minute. Just so I can look at the very end and make sure that I'm not missing one here at the ending. Okay, so that one I got on the what looked like a vine section is the final one. So I'm guessing I'm missing one of the other pieces here. Yeah, not that one. Higher one. I think I'm missing like piece 3 or 4. Yeah, okay, I see which one I'm missing. It was something that probably fell down a pit. That makes more sense. Because it's a one and done. Don't like those. I think it's that one, at least, from what I'm reading. Unless, don't tell me it's this one. Don't tell me it's just as simple. I hate lights. Why, man? That's the second one I do in this stage alone. Alright, whatever, just speedrun it. Stage is pretty easy to speedrun. So, yeah, that's right. What was the obvious ones, too? Always. I forgot that doesn't kill 2 of them. Not metal barrel, that's just a barrel. Well, I'm chilling with this one here. Now I'm just getting antsy. Because I got through all this again because of a stupid light bulb. I literally said starting this stage I might miss it because of weird shenanigans when they do 9 pieces and then it instantly happens. That's yeah, pretty par for the course at this point. That's whatever. Whatever. More time to just gotta talk about whatever, I guess. You know, the par for the course of these set streams. So, I guess the latest thing that can be talked about news-wise was that Metroid Prime 4 trailer that came out today. I didn't see it. I just know there's a lot of fan discourse about it right now because a lot of people are just uncertain about this open world. I'm hoping it's not barren. That's the only concern I have, because I'm kind of tired of a lot of games doing the open world for the sake of open world. I would like that this specific entry in the Metroid series is going to have a world that has a decent amount of stuff in it. Because in the trailers, yeah, it does look pretty barren, but they're trying not to show much in trailers. I'm really just hoping that's just trying to hide the secrets and not... We literally made it barren. Oops. Because I am getting tired of just every game being an open world nowadays. It is starting to get to be too much. People don't have time for those kind of games anymore. It's just too egregious. Not to mention, it kind of takes away from the point of the main game. So I hope that this one is not really going to have that problem. Metroid, it kind of lends its hand more to open world, but it really depends on how it's done. Yeah, I heard that kind of stuff too. Like, the trailer cool, but not really showing anything new. It kind of felt similar to the one they had in the previous Nintendo Direct. It's like, alright. I mean, I get it. You gotta put out another trailer to remind people about the game coming out soon, but it also feels like maybe it should have had a little more. So the trailer feels more worth watching. Because from what I heard, it's like, if you've seen the one that happened in September, this is kind of that one again. Like they could have more to show. Well, I guess not, alright. Just gonna have big open rooms so you can travel with the bike. See, that's what I'm wondering too. Because the main world area could be its open world, but then the rest of it could be closed in. If anyone has played it before, I think it's very similar to this game in question. Uncharted Lost Legacy was open world, but also not. The main world itself was open-ended. You can kind of go wherever you wanted, but you only really had, up until the ending, 4 main areas to really go around to actually do things for in terms of story progression. And it was alright. Like, it actually felt good enough to explore that open section, because there was plenty of stuff to do. At least for a game as small as Lost Legacy, because it was a spin-off. It was like a budget title too at the time. So it felt like it was more justified then, even though some people didn't really care for it. It depends on who you ask, but if it's handled like that, where you like sprinkle in some things to do here and there in the open sections, and like the main areas are the more closed-in ones that are more designed for that Metroid Prime gameplay, I don't think people are gonna mind it. It just really depends on how it's handled. We won't know until it's out. That's kind of it. And we have another month, so hopefully we'll know more soon if they put out another trailer or two. Just give us a little bit more substance, I guess, in these trailers. This level's gonna suck without Diddy. I say that a lot in this world for good reason. Like, I like the gimmick. Kind of like the precursor to the switches in, like, Mario Galaxy 2's levels. Same idea, if you played that. And this came out, I think, right around the same time as Galaxy 2 launched. Because I can't remember when the months were. This was, like, early in 2010. No, I think it was right before, actually. Because Galaxy 2 wasn't until, I think, May of that year. You can do fun stuff like this with the switches. I love that. Nice little pocket. Some of things look better than what they did in the trailer. I mean, that's good that they show like a new enemy in this newest Metroid Prime 4 trailer. It looks a little bit better than the previous. I don't know what that build was, I guess, when we saw it for the Direct a few months back. It could have been a slightly earlier build, which is why some stuff might look better now. We're getting close to release, so they gotta be starting to show the final product like a month before. I didn't see it myself, but like I said, the reception I heard from a lot of people was just kind of, alright, still getting the game, but nothing here I haven't seen before. And that's just kind of the feel I get for a lot of trailers nowadays, so that's nothing new. Why do I uncheck this light? I'm getting paranoid with every light because of what's been happening. It's not the case with this one, but oh. You never know when a level's gonna fake you out with those stupid light bulb puzzle pieces. Can't even get that one anyway, so there's no way to put a piece in it. Yeah, do you think that banana bunch is worth it? No. No! Donkey, come on. The big hitbox and everything. This one does suck to get without Diddy because the timing is pretty strict on it. So if you're not careful, yeah, you'll do what I just did. Reactivate the switch platform again, which then means you die. See ya, suckers. Alright, hit this one more time. I can hit on the way back, thankfully, now. See, this is just kind of bad with my hitbox. Get wrecked. And now let me get out of here, because I saw that secret. And that's how you get to the plug, which I kind of forgot that was plug. I thought this would be a puzzle piece. Got the perfect roll jump over a few switches to make the platform appear. Oh god, that doesn't sound fun as Donkey. Well, that's the stuff I come to expect at this point, so I guess I shouldn't be surprised. I'll grab this, just in case. No peace, but you never know. Yeah, let me hit that. Just to be safe, because I think up here is a puzzle piece, not a Kong letter. Oh my god, how are you even supposed to do this without Diddy? Because this sucks. Yeah, this I don't know how you're supposed to do without Diddy Kong, because you're gonna have to hit these switches multiple times. Or get like a really good high jump off of this. And this blocks your way, so you can't go backwards. Wow, this one really is... If you don't have Diddy Kong, you're just kind of screwing yourself for no reason. And it's not gonna help if I try to look this up. Every single guy is gonna use Diddy Kong, so they're all worthless in this regard. This is a double hit. I need to hit them twice, which, what's the timing on that? Okay, if I go above it and then below it, I can hit the same switch twice, but then can I even make that jump? Because that happens, which is not ideal. I can go under it, but then that doesn't give me enough height. I have to be like dead center too. Wait a minute. No, hang on. There we go. That jump's barely possible to clear. Alright, there's the real solution. That was dumb. See, like I said, you're not looking that up. Who's gonna do this without Diddy Kong? Not many people. Who's gonna be getting all the puzzle pieces in mirror mode? Barely anyone. I'm the rare breed. You have to do a roll jump under it. That's the only way you clear this. Because you don't have enough time to do a double hit. And you definitely can't go backwards for it. That was stupid, man. Speaking of stupid, don't even bother with life. Not worth it. That was bad. I want to get all the stuff here. Why do I have a feeling this is a trigger too? It's not. That makes me a little mad. This is nerve-wracking without Diddy, because if I hit this setup wrong, I just die. That's great. It's insane just how close, yeah, that roll jump makes it. in that previous puzzle piece section. Like, holy crap. There are definitely some areas they really didn't design this stuff without Diddy in mind at all, which is a problematic situation looking back because of how you might be down a Kong if you do lose Diddy Kong in the single-player campaign. And then obviously for the mirror mode when you can't even play as Diddy. Because all puzzle pieces should be designed in a way that you can get them without having to rely on a hover pack. I did not move. My hand was off D-pad, I swear, it wasn't me. Really? Okay, wait, for one, hang on, just calm down for a minute. Yes, I didn't see it, because I am doing a lot at once when I'm streaming here, so it's definitely a moment of tunnel vision, so. I know about it, don't worry about it. Now I know. If I gotta replay it, it's whatever. But there will be times I will just walk past stuff, because, yes, I probably did miss it. It's probably in the section I can't go back to, which is fine. Oh, here, never mind, I just do this. I just take a look real quick to see what I did miss, because again, yeah, I didn't see it. That's just my bad. That happens. I think go back this far is kind of stupid, though. Like, thanks, guys. Okay, I see how I'm supposed to get that again. Yeah, I'm now remembering this barrel. I was talking about other things, so obviously I was not fully paying attention, which happens. That's why, like I said, I've legit gotten people mad about me when I do stuff like this in streams, or I miss your comment or something. It's like, stuff happens. You just have to understand it. Like, not everybody can pay attention to everything going on at once, because it is very, very overwhelming. And there are gonna be things that will just get missed. Honestly, that just adds to the flavor for this stuff. Problem is, getting this without Diddy Kong is a little stupid because of these platform jumps, and obviously I made it harder myself because I gotta go backward every time. So I ever got one shot besides the setup every time for like 2 minutes. That's whatever. Sometimes I kind of like the extra challenge of this kind of stuff because then it really tests your mind about problem solving. That just happens too. But yeah, no, I just flat out missed it because again, when I'm streaming, I got a lot of different things going on. It's not me making excuses, but it's me just being real. I'm taking a look at the chat, obviously, making sure things are working fine, because we've had, especially this past, like, 2-month period, we've had plenty of problems with the Twitch side for streams, and I still want to know what's going on with Twitch on that one, where my broadcast randomly just stops, and it's definitely not on my end. I got that stuff to worry about. I got the notes on my other side. Obviously, the commentary I'm focusing on. Like, there's a lot going on. So things get missed. That just happens. Heck, I'll have people in the call sometimes if I have people in, like, a multiplayer thing. Do the same thing in my ears. Like, oh, yeah, sorry, my bad. Like, it just happens. Trust me, I watch back the stuff, too, I do, and I'm like, man, I'm that stupid? I mean, yeah, but I really don't see that. No, it's all totally intentional. It's the farm engagement. There you go. I got more chat, which means more engagement on the stream. See, it's all part of the master plan. I swear, I'm not making this up. There we go. Yeah, Twitch side's still live for now. I don't know what's been going on. I would love to know what's been going on with the Twitch stuff. I might shoot a message out to like the Enhanced Broadcast Beta Discord that I'm a part of and just ask, hey, does anyone else just randomly get the streams cut, or is that just me? It's kind of getting egregious, guys, because I almost feel like that's something to do with the Enhanced Broadcast stuff. I'm gonna do this just for time's sake. We've had weirder issues before in the past with Enhanced Broadcast, and they had to flat out disable certain things for it. Like, unfortunately, I hate to say it, I'm an insider, so I can tell you some of the stuff, and it's somewhat public knowledge, too. It's not like I'm saying trade secrets here. If I was, then man, they better be paying me the big bucks. I'm better getting paid the bucks. But that's besides the point. Unfortunately, 4K broadcasting on Twitch, that program has been put on hold for the time being because there are a lot of technical issues with it. And unfortunately, there are just too many bugs right now for Twitch to keep 4K in mind for streaming. So it seems like right now, 1080p and 1440p are the two resolutions that the platform is going to be focusing on for now in terms of the enhanced broadcast stuff. So you can still stream on a higher quality on Twitch. 1440 is actually a really good res for streams. I recommend it if you have the bandwidth and the hardware for it. It does make things look a lot cleaner. But unfortunately, 4K is going to be on an indefinite hiatus for the project until they can get things figured out. They want to mainly right now focus on getting the current stuff figured out more and bug tested. So for right now, it's just 1080p and 1440. If people are like wanting to know that insider stuff. Because again, this is more public knowledge. I think they even announced it on like a Twitter thread or something on like Twitch support. So it's not like I'm telling you a thing they don't want to have out there publicly. So, like I said, they've sometimes had weird bugs. I have an AMD graphics card on my laptop, and I know that on that specific machine, they've had to disable enhanced broadcast at one point because it had a bug. So, like I said, there's been weird bugs. Alright, before I continue here, I just want to see... Is there anything near the end I can grab? Because I feel like there's a puzzle piece near the end I should have got. And I didn't. I got that stupid one. That was puzzle piece 2. Puzzle piece 3 is barrel. Puzzle piece 4... Wait a minute. Page just jumped on me. I'm trying to see one thing here. Let's see. Roll. In blue. We tracked a red block. Green chain. Try to switch. Looks like it was right around that checkpoint. So I'm just gonna take the intentional L. Or it's just right here. Never mind. I wasn't even at that part of the list yet. I just stumbled into it like a doof. Alright, you know what? I'll take it. Oh, I'll get out of here. Thank you. I'm literally looking at a list right now. I thought I missed piece 4. And I forgot piece 5 is just jump over to your right, buddy. It's just there. Alright, you know what? I'll take the hand-me-outs. Sure. I forgot that one's literally at the ending because it is off camera and nothing tells you go back over where you just came from on a higher platform with a roll jump. Nothing tells you that, so I just like, Where do I go? Oh, over here. Okay, yeah, my bad. Legit, I do like when that stuff happens more than anything else, because they just make for funny moments. I love this graphic effect. Nice use of 3D in this 2D game. Oh, this was the stage I was thinking of before. It wasn't the hand stage, it was this one. This one sucks when you're at the end, playing on like a small screen. It's a cool stage on concept. I love the rhythm mechanic for it. But... yeah, this is not great when you get to the ending, because it zooms the camera out way too far for a handheld. You can tell this was a Wii game in mind at first. Yeah, this level is fantastic. I love this level. It also helps I'm a really big rhythm gamer in general. So this kind of aesthetic, along with this idea... I'll get out of here. I did not want to get clipped by that. I'm glad I didn't. I'm a big rhythm game guy myself. I mean, I was there when the whole Guitar Hero phase was happening, Rock Band and such back in the day. So, this kind of stuff is definitely, for lack of better terms, my jam. I'm gonna get up there though, because I think there's something on the, well, right. Normally left. Trying to remember the timing though, because again, Diddy would help on this. I wanted to do a jump off of that rooster, but that didn't work out. There you go. Now I get the secret. Yeah, we don't see many DK buttons in this. That was one of the few. Like we saw a handful in the beginning of the game, and then just like the silhouette aesthetic thing, they kind of just forgot. Now, before I go any further really quick, I think I'm going to make this a little bit easier myself. I'm listening to the capture card audio. I'm going to turn that off. But you guys hear, I'm going to turn on my own monitor, because that's less lag. For a stage like this, you really want no lag. I can't play rhythm games with delay. That's just torture. Don't do that to yourself. Nice. Thought I could still make that jump, and that wasn't even close. A little nerve-wracking, it's fine. Keeps you on the edge of your seat. Think that's in that section? Because I don't think there's one for getting all the bananas, right? Double check it, but I don't think that is the case. Because I got the checkpoint now, so worst case, I can just move on. Yeah, that's fine. I don't think there's anything there. If there is, I'll just do it again later. It's fine. But I just don't think that... Nice. Lack of better terms, just got cock-blocked. Get it? 'Cause Rooster? Please laugh. Okay, he didn't find it funny. I'm too close, but I don't want to throw it from a distance because then I'm going to hit the guy above me. You know what? Let's not even. I want to hit you, so I can grab that. This section's really cool. I like the section. Oh, just don't. Just don't. They're nerve-wracking. But I love how it just claps to the beat of level. Like that is such a cool thing. That sucks though. Just all the rhythm-based mechanics in the level. That's why this is legit one of the best levels in the game. And this time, can I have a better clearance so I can do this correctly? Thank you. I don't want this guy to be in my way when I go for the secret here. Then, I get this, and there you go, all puzzle pieces. Now I just need to get the plug. I think it's near the end. I'm a fan of DKC3. Yeah, I grew up with the game. I actually didn't have DKC2, funny enough. I had 3, so I had 1 and 3. And I really liked what they did with it, personally speaking. I think it's a little too much hate. It's probably the weakest of the trilogy, sure, but I think it's still a solid game. I really enjoy it. Nope, okay. I thought I can pull back more, and I guess Donkey disagreed. The water on this is a little weird at first. Because as you can see, I didn't get pushed up there, so it just kind of depends on when you get in the current, or if it works or not. There we go. Well, like, you gotta be dead center. Makes that even weirder. Alright, now we get the final plug. I think this is the easiest of the three to find, because this one's pretty blatant. You know, minus the stream stuff. Someday I would like to cover these country games for my own, like, YouTube channel. The complicated thing is that with Donkey Kong Countries 1 through 3, they all had remakes. Donkey Kong Country 1 also had a D-make, too, technically. Like, there's 3 versions of Donkey Kong Country. You got the original Super Nintendo one, you got the Game Boy Color one, and then you got the Game Boy Advance one. I grew up with both the Super Nintendo and the Game Boy Color one. I've never beaten the Game Boy Color one. That one is pretty bad, honestly. Like, it was a decent port of it at the time, but going back to it nowadays is pretty rough. It just has a lot of weird issues that the other 2 versions don't have. And it has some unique stuff about it, but I don't recommend it. But if I wanted to cover the Donkey Kong Country stuff on my channel for the future, I would like to show all versions of the game, which will include that Game Boy one, and to this day, never beaten it. Because of all the weird quirks it has. I got stuck on that version in, I think it was World 6. It was the level where you had to get all of the fuel for your moving platform. You had to constantly refill its energy. I could not beat that level as a kid on the Game Boy version. I beat the Super Nintendo one plenty of times. That level was tough, but I was able to beat it on the SNES version. But I couldn't on the Game Boy one. It was just so much worse on that version because of the screen crunch and the different physics. One day I do want to beat that one, just to say I've beaten at least the Game Boy Color version of Donkey Kong Country, because it's such a different beast. They have all the things? Yeah, okay, cool. This is the section where it's like, good luck playing this on like the 3DS, or even on the Switch handheld screen, because oh my god, you're the size of an ant on those screens. It's a really cool section, but this is not handheld friendly. You over the advanced versions yourself, Jay Hazen? Yeah, I haven't heard anything bad about those versions. I haven't played them myself, but I know a friend that swears by those ones compared to the SNES versions. I know for DKC3 they did have to change the soundtrack, though. I can't remember the reasoning why. It was something about, like, a legal thing. I don't know the specifics, but that's the one thing I know people didn't care for as much on DKC3. That's more a subjective thing, though. To me, it's whatever, because I still have the original to go back to, so I don't mind the new music. I have to play the advanced versions at some point myself. I haven't really played them. I want to at some point. By the way, this is going to be your only real look of Diddy Kong, because this is how you get to the boss. We're not going to the boss now, but this unlocks the stage to use for later. And it's just one giant rocket barrel stage. We're gonna play this in the logic like we're in mirror mode, so if I take a hit, then yeah, we're gonna add that to the death count, but I'm not gonna reset the stage because there's no point. And even then, all you can really take hits at are these specific sections with the wall, so just pay attention. I shouldn't be really having any problems here. Gets more narrow near the end, but that's it. Oh, never mind. Okay, there you go. That I forgot about the barrel section. I thought that was only with the final boss. Even on a normal level, we still have a problem. Although, you know what? Actually, this doesn't feel right. We're in mirror mode, and this is not mirrored. This doesn't feel right at all. Don't worry, we have the technology. It just requires a reset of the level, then it works. And hey, it's canonical now because Diddy Kong left the building. Flip. There you go. Now it's canonical. Yeah, this stage just, yeah, quote unquote exists because there's nothing to it. It's just an intermission to go from one area to the boss section, which is the only real time they do this. They kind of have a thing like this going to the final boss area, but that's it. It's attached to the final boss level, it's not a separate thing. How weird is this when you're seeing those numbers? This is not the true mirror mode, but this is the mirror mode experience we have at home. Raining bananas. Might as well take them for that mishap from earlier. We don't talk about that. It was intentional, I swear. And that's it. That's the whole level. You literally just dodge some stuff. You can only die from running into a blimp or a wall. That's it. Then you unlock the boss fight. It's such a weird level that I don't even know why it exists. Alright, let's go ahead and actually get back to the real challenge stuff. 7K, let's go ahead and do this. This should be our final super difficult K level, because World 8's K level isn't that bad. It's gonna have its moments probably because of mirror mode, but I think this is harder than 8K. It's also very barren in the beginning. Alright, another thing I was talking about before with Donkey Kong Country. You got a platform you gotta move on, and you gotta fill it up with energy. Well, this is close enough. On-off switches. You gotta hit these to actually get a move on, because they have to activate the next part of the track. And also, certain areas, you have to go in that part of the track to get the puzzle piece, which I did not do. I don't really feel like this stage is that much different, though, in Mirror, because if you miss one of these switches, you're taking an intentional death anyways. So the real hard part about this stage is just making your way through it correctly, especially making sure you get the puzzle pieces. So that's not going to be any different. I feel like this is actually safer than going above. Nice, I saw Donkey get up there for a minute when I held down on my D-pad, so that was concerning. I almost timed that incorrectly. And that GG's there, so get the puzzle piece. Honestly, that one's kind of strict to get piece and then hit the switch again, so I'm fine getting the puzzle piece and taking the death there. Now it sets me up to do the rest of the stage. Yeah, there's no real difference I'm feeling in the challenge here for Mirror, because, again, you fail a section, you die anyways. This one is hard, but even on the normal mode, this is still pretty hard. Yeah, these, though, I am worried about certain puzzle pieces without Diddy Kong specifically, just because he is my Achilles heel for a lot of things like that, for example, where if I want to make a safer jump, I just don't have them. So there are going to be sections that will be harder. Don't get me wrong there. Yeah, this is flat out just a mechanic that was inspired by one of the levels in Donkey Kong Country. It's not the same, because in a level in Country, you would have to constantly collect fuel to keep your elevator platform moving. Here, you're just hitting an on-off switch. The same concept, but it's not the same on difficulty. I think that kind of level is harder in original Country. Didn't think I would make that. He pulled back. I had a feeling that would happen, honestly. Yeah, doing this in one go without Diddy, that's probably the real challenge, because if you're just getting pieces here and there and taking the death, that's one thing. But, man, doing everything in one go is just not fun. And you lose Diddy Kong when you die in this, so you're pretty much doing this challenge regardless of normal if you lose Diddy Kong at all. But most likely, a lot of people, probably in the first playthrough, did beat this without Diddy Kong because of that stipulation. Otherwise, you're leaving the level, grabbing Diddy, and then coming back to try again, which is a lot of work. Don't believe the stage has any of the puzzle pieces there. Yeah, that's what I thought. Thank you for confirming. It doesn't have any of the puzzle pieces in any of the jars. So you're really just paying attention to the track, and they all just kind of show up on the beaten path. So, the hard part is out of the way now, getting all the pieces. Now that stressor's off of me. So now I can just beat the level without worrying about going out of my way. Which does make this infinitely easier. Yeah, trying to do this all in one go and get all the pieces without Diddy, that is torture. Please don't ever do that on yourself unless you really don't think this level is that hard and you want an extra challenge. That's the only reason you probably should do this with Donkey. And that's specifically with that concoction of difficulty. Yeah, the vases in here, like, the most they give you is, like, you know, that one extra coin or something. So it's not worth it. Honestly, sometimes I just like, if I'm far enough ahead like that, I'll just hit the ground to see if I can get the thing in the face. Most of the time you can't. You don't have time for it. It's more of just of a time check to see how good you're doing in a set area, but you really shouldn't be doing that. Mirror in the end. That should have been piece 4 we just passed. So just a little bit more. Although I don't like that timing. Yeah, I think I had like a frame to jump off of that platform because I saw Donkey stutter there for a second when he fell. So it was like he was on solid ground, but he instantly fell. So that was like a 1 frame jump in a 60 frame per second game. Good luck. I had a feeling that would happen. I was a little too slow on that jump. Again, on a first playthrough, it is just much better. If you lose Diddy here, go get him again if you're having a hard time. So sometimes when you lose him, it might be better just to die in the beginning and then just grab that Diddy barrel over and over. Try to keep him as long as you can. If you're using items, then you probably end up just have the extra like 10 hits on. You just bought yourself like that golden banana juice potion, so you have the 10 hits. Which makes this level a lot safer when you keep Diddy the whole time. I don't know, when I first played the game, I never really used that many of those items, but that's just because I found them to be a little too cheap at times. They made certain sections trivial, so I just was like, maybe if I'm having a problem, come back with this stuff, but I never ended up doing that. Although the 10 hits really does help for the final boss, because dear God, that thing is terrible. And I'm not looking forward to that part when we get to it, which will be next week at this rate. Since that is in our next world, World 8. Final boss is there. That is a marathon of a fight, so it just helps just to have the extra hits if you have items on, because you just don't want to redo that fight. It takes so long. That and this one up ahead, too. I'm not looking forward to this stupid chicken. He's gonna suck. The fight takes forever as it is. It's gonna be worse with the one-hit rule. Yeah, no, I noticed. That's why I mentioned, like, the Diddy barrel. I didn't when I first started the stage, so that was just a mind fart. But I corrected myself as I saw it. Again, you know, the whole, I'm doing 3 or 4 different things. Okay, that was just a misinput. I'm doing 3 or 4 different things as I stream, so it's called tunnel vision. Every streamer goes through it. Most nerve-wracking parts when I get to these spikes. I'm afraid at one of these points, I'm not going to be holding down fast enough, which has already happened a couple times. Doesn't help that this is the Switch Pro Controller D-pad still on the 2 Pro Controller, which have the same D-pad issues as the original one does in some people's eyes, where it doesn't always hold that said direction if you move your thumb ever so slightly. Which I've had already happen here. If I get up randomly and die, it's because I'm holding down, but then it's like slightly down left or down right. And that's enough to cause a problem. That's it. That's the stage. Really not that hard to get the puzzle pieces because they're on the beaten path, so at least they give you one saving grace here. I think my worst K level was just 4K at this point, because of just how obnoxious the spike hitboxes are in that stage. They are terrible. Alright, so I'm just gonna do this now. Something tells me we might want this as a reference for later. Just gonna open up a new notepad, and I'm gonna write down a very specific number that's on screen right now, because we always reference this later. Okay. Here comes my least favorite part of the world. Fettered Fiend. This fight is terrible. If it's in the normal mode, it's the mirror mode, it doesn't matter. This guy doesn't respect your time. And that's why I don't like it. This fight has a lot of waiting around. Spike hitboxes, I don't know how I feel about those. They're gonna cause some problems later. And there's plenty of fake outs in the fight that we worried about, so let's hope we're not here for like 2 hours, but incoming 2-hour fight. I won't be shocked. Yeah, the wannabe Eggman looking chicken is the best way to phrase this dude. This guy goes from just standard old servant to the Tiki Men, as he's just pounding up the banana bunch. And then he just decides, you know what? I'll kill you instead. Because he's, you know, under direct orders. Yeah, the pattern thing is gonna be what I really have to learn going to the fight first, because there are certain times you can hit, certain times you can't. And that's where you really gotta be paying attention. This guy does a lot of fake outs with his movements as well. But this is what I'm not gonna like. As you can see, you don't have that much time to move. And that's the only really way you're gonna be moving in this fight. You have to go under his legs and through him before he moves around with his next foot. Normally, yeah, this is where having extra hits help, because you're gonna take a lot of unintentional hits trying to go under this guy's body. And that's not gonna help later when he's going faster, which is going to happen. Doesn't help this guy takes a million years to fight, because he's just so slow. I think if one good hit in, it takes like 2 minutes. Like, why does this fight have to be this drawn out? I just want to know what was going on the design for this one. And then you gotta duck there. If you don't duck, you're getting hit. And I think it is possible to get double hits in this when you can take damage, but there's no way we're doing that in mirror mode. See, like right there, I could have gone for him again, but just better safe than sorry. You move your leg again? Cool, I didn't think I can actually get in here. But yeah, he has set times when he goes fast, that is correct, Aiden. Like, he will go faster and slower on very specific cycles. You just have to learn it. And it's different every time you hit him, so you just have to pay attention more and more as you fight him. Like right now, it's safe. He doesn't really go fast towards the wall during this time period, if I remember correctly, so you can take your time a little bit here and wait for it to happen. But yeah, this fight is so drawn out. Like, I don't know why they had to make this fight this long. And this is only phase 1. There's another phase that's just as bad. You can tell I got burned on this fight so much that I already know what to do with the stupid parts. Because, man, this fight is terrible. That was close. How in the world was that one of my fastest fights in this game? How was that one of our best fights? We take those! I thought I was gonna be here for like an hour at least. I was here for 10 minutes. Oh my god, man, let's get out of here fast. Okay. Wow. I think we could try World 8 tonight. I wasn't going to, but we beat this fast and I participated. That was a 2-hour world, when I expected 2 of those hours being a chicken. Okay. So, I think the trauma set in so much, I didn't have to learn any patterns. I just muscle memory through the fight, because I didn't have to look up any pattern. I didn't have to memorize anything. I just went. Oh my god, dude. Hardest boss, huh? Yeah, I know, right? It's just dramatic flair for the camera. That's all it is. That fight is like a baby game. No, you're just true babies. I beat Dark Souls with one hand tied behind my back kind of mood. God, man. Talk about hyping that up for a wet fart of an ending. And I wasn't even planning on it. Alright, cool. World 8. I gotta pull back up my notes. I died once in that fight, by the way. I wrote down the death total. I died once. And that's because I just was learning in the beginning how much wiggle room did I have on timing for his feet. Because that was the only thing I had to just memorize again. That's it. Oh my god, dude. Yeah, the mole was definitely our worst boss. Because that, just like with the boss we just fought, does not respect your time either. I think that one's a little bit worse on that front. Once I was starting to get risky, because honestly, that fight took a long time because I didn't trust myself at all. So, the mole fight took a long time because I just didn't trust myself to make any jumps. And I was playing it super safe to a point where it definitely dragged out the fight. That didn't help things. Oh yeah, this is also the world that has a graphical screw-up in this version. We'll see it. I don't remember when it happens, but it's in the rocket barrel level. There's a graphical error that is only apparent, I think, in this version. Not even the 3DS version, I think, has the same bug. I think. I don't know for sure. Yeah, honestly, we might be doing it that way, because I don't think I want to do the World 8 boss tonight. That's going to be a little too much, because it is a very long fight, and World 9 is going to take, like, maybe an hour, tops. World 9 is not that hard. Until you get to the level that was designed from the Wii game. The standard levels they introduced in the 3D version are just as difficult as from the main worlds they're all themed from. So, that world's not going to take that terribly long, I would imagine. So I might break this up into, like, we'll do everything up until 8K, and then I'll probably end up just starting next week with the final boss, which is going to be a weird way to start. But hey, that's just how it goes. I'm not on the move for the final boss. Was not mentally prepared for that. Jeez, dude. I'm still kind of in shock of how fast we just beat that chicken. I think it's just all the trauma I built up from just being a teenager playing this game for the first time and struggling on that boss for like a good hour on my first time playing because of just how long it was. So every time you die near the end, I blew on that rock. Why didn't that go out? Okay. When how long that fight takes, you're just redoing so much. And that's what I hate about them most. Things I don't respect for time are just the least favorite things to me in gaming nowadays. I do agree on that point, though, Aiden. Yeah, like, this is legit one of the best-looking worlds, and this was a Wii game. Keep that in mind. Aesthetically speaking, this is really nice for Wii game standards. The graphical effects shimmering in the back, that was definitely like that on Wii hardware as well. So, the color palette, just the things that happen in the background, everything going on in the foreground, too. There's a lot here. And this was 2010 Wii, so developers were definitely at this point. They figured out how the system worked, and they were able to do some cool stuff with it. I think graphically speaking, some of the best looking games on the system came out in that second half of its time span. You got the Galaxy games, you got obviously this one, Donkey Kong Country. Skyward Sword looks pretty good for what it is. Textures are a little muddy on it, but graphically speaking, the art style worked. I think cartoony stuff ages much better than realism. That should have killed me. Because I don't think Twilight Princess looks as good nowadays as it did back then, but Skyward Sword kind of held up better in that regard. Twilight Princess HD, on the other hand, that still actually looks pretty good. Because you just cleaned up some of the muddy textures. I just wish I would get off the Wii U at some point. That would be ideal. Yeah, maybe someday. No, we're not counting porting the game on SO with the GameCube port. No, that's not the same thing. We want to see the HD version, Wii U one. That'd be nice at some point in the future. Didn't have enough time there almost. Puzzle piece is a little annoying to get, but once you get it, get out of there. It's not that bad. Oh, okay. I wanted to kill this guy first and then get the O, which is still the plan. Yeah, compared to the volcano from Mario Wii, much better looking. Can agree. New Mario Wii wasn't a bad game, graphically speaking. It looked good, especially for, you know, the cartoony aesthetic they wanted to go for. But when you compare new Mario Wii to this, it's like, yeah, I think we got a clear-cut winner. The volcano level here just has a lot more detail. And it's just really, really good. And this was retro because, again, another one of the games that was really good looking on the Wii, Metroid Prime 3, made by the same studio. They really knew how to work on Wii hardware. Which, to be fair, this was just GameCube hardware at the end of the day, technically speaking. So, Retro already knew how to make games look pretty good on this kind of hardware with the Prime series. It really started the show once we got Prime 3, obviously. Then we got to this. Game in general is better Mario Wii. I mean, yeah, I think this is a solid platformer. Not to say that new Mario Wii is a bad game. It's still pretty solid. But I think just comparing the two, I do find more enjoyment out of Donkey Kong Country Returns. I will say, though, there's a lot of cool mods out there for new Mario Wii, so there are definitely some stuff to look into for that game, if you're a fan at least of how it plays, mechanically speaking, because there's a lot of levels by the community nowadays. I've played a little bit of one of the mods, newer Super Mario Bros. Wii. I think that's a pretty solid mod for the game. There's supposed to be this new one that just came out. I don't know what it's called. I think it's supposed to be Super Mario Bros. Wii Remastered or something like that. I think they even dropped a new name. But I do think some of the mods for the game might be a little bit better than the base game. But I'm also a little biased because I think the best new Mario game is New Mario U. Mechanically speaking, I think that was just the best one. Power-wise, level-wise, challenge, all that. Took them 4 tries, but they got it. And then that was the final try, so oops. I'm just glad now we're just kind of doing newer stuff than the new games. Forgot that was coming. Never knew Super Mario Bros. Wii Hack's Incredible. I don't think I've heard of that one. Probably have to check that one out at some point. Because, yeah, there's so many, it's hard to keep up with all the new Mario Wii mods. I feel like there was, like, a new one for a year for quite some time there. The modding community for the new Mario Wii stuff is very dedicated. Just like the Mario Kart Wii modding scene from what I've seen. There's a lot of good Mario Kart Wii mods out there, too. So, just in general, a lot of games on Wii have some really good mod scenes. Yeah, that could have just been puzzle piece instead of a secret barrel, but alright. Newer? Okay. That's fine. I was gonna say, never Super Mario Bros. Wii. We're never playing this again. Oh, I see. It's kind of a meta title, but I get what you're saying. Yeah, newer Super Mario Bros. Wii. That makes more sense. Yeah, that was the one I was talking about before. It seems to be like one of the better mods for the game, because there's just so many. And like I said, I've played some of it. It's actually really solid. I need to sit down and play through all of it one day, but it just, there's been so many over the years, it's hard to keep track of a lot of ROM hacks and mods in general. There's actually one I want to get back to at some point here very soon. Because, oh man, this timing is really stupid for me. I might want to wait this one out a little bit more and then pull the lever. I'll get back to my point here in a second as I'm timing things out. Alright, now I can pull it. Sir, can you move? I'm on a timer. Thank you. Alright, now I get back to my point because I don't want to focus on the timer. There's one mod I actually want to go back to here very soon. We might near the end of the month. We'll see, because there's a lot of games I want to try out this month in demos and first impressions and such. Because I'm kind of using November, besides finishing up Donkey Kong, obviously. I'm using this month more as a chill month. Kind of ending the year more and just trying out a bunch of games. So, that's what we got. Sonic Rumble this Thursday. Finally comes out here everywhere, internationally speaking. Which is insane, because that game was in limbo for what felt like a year? Which I don't know why that game got delayed as much as it did, being a free-to-play game. And it was out in certain territories. Like, I think it was out in Australia for months. But, for whatever reason, international release, delay after delay after delay. I would love to know the development history for that. Because Sonic Rumble, I feel, is going to have a very interesting story behind it. But, besides the point, to get back on track. Wanted to try that out. Then I also got some other demos I had in mind on my Steam page. I'm probably going to end up looking at, like, the Yuka Replayly demo. Thinking of trying Bubsy 4D, because why not? It's a free demo. So, stuff like that I want to look at, but I think once I cover the demos, I want to get back to playing a mod we played last year for Ocarina of Time, because there's been an update to it. I want to go back and try out the new update that just released for, oh god, what was the roguelike game again? I'm always blanking on the name, which I don't know why, because it's legit my favorite ROM hack of Ocarina, but I always blank. I think I'll focus once I get through the fiery death over here, because there's too much going on. I'm gonna tap out again, because when I'm focused on everything else around me, I forget titles, which is just stupid. Let's see, it'll be around here. Ultimate Trial. I don't know why I always forget that name, and I apologize to the devs for that one, because I think that is, if you're gonna play any Ocarina ROM hack, you play the Ultimate Trial. It's a fantastic time from start to finish. They just released, when I understand, a new update to it that adds some newer content. So I want to go back and look at what they added to the game and see what's changed in the past year since we played it. Because I played that last year in 24! Golly! I feel like I don't have eyebrows after that. How did I not die? That was Alright, justified later. Even though that one made less sense. Alright, sure. So, yeah, I want to try out the new update for Ultimate Trial. I'll probably end up doing that by the end of the month. I think I still have my save from last year's stream of that. That was Switch exclusive, but probably now, going back to look at it, that'll be a multi-stream thing, because I basically multi-stream everything I do now. The exception is if I'm just doing like a random one-off or something, like, oh, here, I'm going to play like that one random event for like Sonic Racing for like an hour. Alright, I'll just stream that on Twitch, because there's a lot of extra work that goes into multi-stream, and that's probably not worth it for a thing like that. But these other projects I'm talking about are definitely enough for the YouTube side. How does that count, by the way, too? I'm one layer above the fire, yet that still hurts. Like, the fire hitboxes, I swear, for these trails of fiery rock, yeah, they're a thing. Not good, but they do exist. Just gonna keep on scaring me like that, aren't we? Like, come on, man. You have, like, the room the size of maybe the barrel itself to stand between the enemies and the fireball. You know what, I'm gonna wait this out a little bit more because this is still really bad on cycles. This part's just obnoxious without Diddy. There we go. Jeez, dude, now I'm gonna have to make a proper move on. No, come on, man. I just need to get the things. That's the thing in the wall where the fireballs are going. Okay, so I gotta look at that before I continue. Thanks for that. I might have missed it because, again, with the whole... You tunnel vision things when you stream. 'Cause I got this secret. That one I remember. You know, I think we're gonna use this on the enemy here, and then I'll... wait the... Or you can just miss. Okay, never mind. That works too. I was gonna say, I'll wait the cycle out, kill the enemy easier with the barrel, and then I'll just blow on the other one. Wait it out. And that was a double shot. I was hoping I got that when he was doing the single. I thought it was done. Problem is, cycles now are a little stupid. Oh, by the way, if it's this secret you're talking about and I'm thinking about it, we did get this one. Like, this one's cleared. Because I'm looking up ahead, I haven't seen the other walls yet. So I don't see any walls that these fireballs are going towards. So if it was that one in question, yeah, that one's been cleared. Every time, dude! How is that going through that layer? I'll keep an eye out for it, because I'm trying to think of which wall it could be in question, because it's not here, it's further ahead. I can see that much. And that one got me again. Okay, that's the second time that one just jump scared me tonight. After this level, I need to take a quick pause break so I can look at my data transfer thing again. As I mentioned at the beginning of the stream, I am still doing that data transfer between SD cards. Should be about done by now. How was that still on the screen? Yeah, this part is honestly just kind of annoying when you don't have the extra hit, because there's not much wiggle room you have going in between these fireballs. So you really have to just wait this out even more than normal. Because honestly, at this stage, I just rather take the hit. Because they do give you plenty of health in this section, if I remember correctly, on normal. And then there's obviously the Diddy Kong barrels, so you can take a hit intentionally and be fine. But without that, yeah, this sucks, because there's a lot of waiting. And some cycles don't line up that well. So, a lot of waiting with a lot of problematic jumps. Like here, I have to go, but I can't go too far forward. I can hit maybe the pixel of that jump and be okay, but the rest of it's a danger zone. This is what I'm talking about with the cycles not lining up. So this is where just take the intentional hit if you're a normal, because this section is just really tight. And to think, this is 8-1. We are still in the first level. And yet, this is what you deal with. It's a great introduction to the final world. A lot of death. Wouldn't expect anything else though for a final world. Yeah, but don't worry. If you get the information wrong, that's fine, because you see how many things I kind of done on that front in this series, where I think a puzzle piece is here and then it's not. There's just a lot to keep track of for a game like this, especially for its hitting collectible stuff. Though, I get stuff confused all the time. I'm just keeping my eye out for, like, secrets. I thought the last piece could be here, because of this specific platform with the fireballs. That feels like collect the stuff, something spawns. I think actually I can probably just, like, jump that, but I don't think it's worth it. Should be in the clear now, though, right? Kind of. That was kind of risky, but it was worth it. That's still not that worth it. Hang on, please stop. I don't like this at all. Alright, we're fine now. I still need to go back and check this section, though. There. Finally. Breathing room. And it was just that stuff. That's it. This feels like a good place I could have put a puzzle piece. Here it is. This is the one. Yeah, I remember this section. That has a puzzle piece right there. Oh, but where's the checkpoint, though? I don't think there's a checkpoint until after all this, which is really bad. Because this is such a long gauntlet that I've just gotten to. Oh, no, I don't think there's even a checkpoint, period. I think this is just it. No. I'm not losing here. Worked too hard to get here. No, no, no! God, that was close. You barely have enough time to see that stuff and react. Of course, look at what they put right here. Right at the very end. Thanks. I hate it. Bait. Don't even go. Nope, bait. I don't care. Yeah, those are spaced out enough. Because if they were not spaced out, that fireball maze would be a terrible way of ending the level after all that crap you dealt with on the way in. Alright, well, thankfully. Rocket barrel stage, so not bad on collectibles, a lot of them are more as you would expect, but difficulty still there. This is the stage, though, if I remember correctly. This one's bugged graphically, which is kind of sad. I really want this game to be updated someday, but it's still on version 1.0, and there has not been an update since. So this is still the same version that came out back in January. And you're going to see up ahead. I'll describe when it actually happens. But this is one of those levels that unfortunately has a graphic error that I feel could be fixed in a patch, but there has not been any patches. I'm still bitter about the multiplayer being bugged like 3D. Which that I can't believe was missed again. 3D version I get, because how many people are playing multiplayer Donkey Kong Country Returns on a 3DS? Alright, I get that much. It's probably a minority. But this is a home console release, and plenty of people want to do local co-op. So the fact that it's bugged here, yeah, that's not excusable. I'm sorry. That needs to be patched. So why is it not? Nice gimp jump. Nice gimp. I held the button all the way. It didn't really count. Okay. That just sometimes happens. I'm just gonna roll. Yeah, I don't think this game's ever gonna get a patch. I feel like I already missed a thing. If they would have patched it, they probably would have in the first few weeks. But because they haven't done anything around that time period, that pretty much seals the fate of the game. Which is unfortunate. Because there are plenty of things that can be addressed, but when you got stretched out deaths, like that's a 4x3 stretched out moment. This was a widescreen only game. How do you make that mistake? Like, there's a lot of weird things like that. I just don't understand this port. Okay, could have sworn that's a puzzle piece, so that was a lot of deaths for no reason. That's whatever. Happens. Yeah, this stage is kind of nerve-wracking. Oh, here's the fire. What a bro that fireball was. Unfortunately, the big issue I have in this stage is that the fire kind of blends in with the background a bit. So you're probably going to miss one of those fireballs because you're just not seeing it. And that happens a lot. Oh, sure, now I can get that without a problem, even though it doesn't matter. Alright, well, thankfully, I think this puzzle piece is kind of annoying to get and then dodge things, so I can now just dodge the fire. Yeah, see that fireball? I barely saw. That kind of blended in with my jet fuel. Taunting me with all those bananas, and it's normally a puzzle piece. Okay, here's the section that's bugged. So, unfortunately, yeah, these are comical fire lizards now. They're not supposed to be, but unfortunately, their layering got glitched in this translation. I don't know what happened here. They're not supposed to look like this. This is wrong on so many levels. They're supposed to have more detail instead of just orange. I can't remember how they're supposed to really look. I'm gonna have to look up a video or screenshot or something of the Wii game so you can see a comparison, but they're not this. This might be a good shot, I think. Alright, you know what, that's good enough. So, what is this level? 8-2 Hot Rocket. This should be based off the Wii version, right? This guy I'm looking at? Yeah, it is, okay. Let me see if we can find a... Yeah. Oh, they're using the HD version. Never mind. Let me see if I can get an actual shot of these things from the Wii game. Okay, that's good enough. Fortunately, it's an old video from Game Explained, but you know, it'll do the job. It's whatever. I don't really care for the channel personally, but I'm just gonna use it for posterity's sake. Unfortunately, it's super motion blurred. Oh my god. Okay, you know what? No, I'm not using this. That's disgusting. Anyone who uses that heavy a motion blur in their stuff is just... No, thank you, man. I can't do that. It gives me a headache. I'd rather look at like a super lower quality video. Yeah, that is much better than me. Yeah, this doesn't give me a headache. Okay, cool. 480p? That's fine. It's better than motion blur. Alright, that's a good shot. So, right now, this is the thing you got, right? You can actually see the skull head. This is how it's supposed to look. The skull head is masked more in the fire. You can actually see the flames itself on the back of these creatures correctly, instead of an R version where it's like kind of a suggestion, it feels like. Like, the only real part you see in the flame is kind of on their bottoms. That's it. It's very, very subtle compared to how the Wii original was. There's a lot more fire here. These guys get screwed up in translation somehow, and I don't know how. I don't know what happened here. Some kind of bug when they ported this over, graphically speaking. That's not, I feel it could be fixed, but yeah, without a patch ever coming, I guess, at this point, they might always look like this, which is just a little more comical than it should be. Like they're missing one extra layer, it feels like. Yeah, this one's kind of nerve-wracking. Get that G. You gotta go up and then come right down immediately. Kind of a tight window. Actually looks worse. I mean, kind of, to be fair, it's also a 480p Wii video, so doesn't help it. They looked a little bit better if you take it through like an upscaling process, like with Dolphin. I think they just, it's the heads here that just bug me. The heads don't look right on this version. I don't know what it is. It's just without extra fire covering their head, you see more of the serpent. It's kind of odd. I just know that this one was pointed out when the re-release first came out back in January this year, because it was one of the more notable graphical bugs. Just like with the sun immediately like going up and then going back down in one of the early stages, which wasn't supposed to happen, but it just did. And obviously the most egregious is stretching out a 16:9 def image, because I don't know how you do that. Yeah, this part sucks. I gotta get all those bananas. Yeah, this pattern here, though, to get to the G and out, yeah, this is probably the worst section for these fire snakes. You don't have that much room to really navigate. Which does not help when everything's a hitbox. And it's a moving hitbox at that. I forgot about the last one there for a second. Yeah, I also just remember I did say I had to check that process from before. I'll do it at this stage for real this time. I think I'll use that as an opportunity to actually take a stream break for real. Because I wasn't planning to go this far, so I'm now just on autopilot. Just like want to get progress. Well, you know what? This is now the puzzle piece attempt. And now it's not. I gotta fly up. That's why I didn't do the past 2 times in that section. I'll do it a third. That is so nerve-wracking, just to not fall into the lava because you're skipping on the edge of it. That barely works, man. They put those too close. Alright, so which one did I miss? I'm just gonna beat it because I'm not doing those letters again. Let me see. Because I got the barrel in the beginning, so I had to be near the beginning section. I got the one from the fireball shot. Yeah, I got that one right before the O, right? Should have been the other one. Yeah, so that, okay, it's one of those two. It was one of the fireballs that I didn't have lined up correctly. Oh yeah, because I was so focused. It was another problem of it blending in. I'm now looking at the picture and I see exactly how I missed. It blended in for me in the background because it's orange on orange. Which is stupid design. That's why these things probably need a drop shadow or something. Oh, yeah, that explains it. Alright, we'll see you here in a second. Link, you miss it. That's exactly what happened. I was focused on the fireballs, which also blend in with the background. And yeah, the puzzle piece blends in more. It's like near the bottom, near the lava. Very easy to miss, as you just saw. So it's after this one. So it's right here. There you go. You can barely see it down there. it blends in pretty bad in my opinion. It's a blink and you miss it. It's barely visible because of the black outline from the background. When you're moving fast and you have all the fireballs to dodge. So it's orange on orange on orange. Yeah, you're gonna miss it. Even though, yes, I know it's not true orange with the lava color, but on this screen I'm using, it is like a very orangey red lava for the background. It's more red from the fireballs and from my engine. So things kind of blend in. I think I gotta skip through these two. Alright, there we go. Alright, cool. Yeah, also it's very, very tight timing to get in too. Just because if you go too high, you hit a fireball, go too low, you probably hit the lava. It's a very tight squeeze. Yeah, now we just get to go through this on autopilot. Thankfully, no collectibles we need now. Don't need to worry about grabbing these letters. Might just do them anyways, because honestly, getting the letters are kind of my safe zones for this level. So if I grab a letter, I know I'm definitely going to survive. Well, you don't need them anymore. Kind of insane there's only that one checkpoint in this whole stage. But again, it's World 8. What do you expect? But yeah, this stage is very precise on the collectibles. Like, they're not hard to figure out because at this point you're trained to know. Probably grab every banana bunch you see, or very specific ones, as those are probably going to spawn a puzzle piece. So this stage of the game, you're trained to know what to look out for. But actually doing it, that's the hard part. It's the execution. And that's also, I don't like the final one because you're almost touching lava. So you gotta get really close to the end. And just skip on the ending part of lava. That one not fun on first playthrough. Alright, but there you go. That's awful. Cool. Well, now we can continue on here, and that's... How many more levels? It's 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Okay, so it goes up to 7 levels here, and then the K. So that's 8 in total, which is, yeah, par for the course. It's the same as World 7. So next up here is 8-3, the Roasting Rails. So from one auto-scroller to another. But we'll be covering that one here in just a moment, as I'm going to take this opportunity to take a break so I can check on my backup process here. And also just to use this opportunity to get up and stretch. Because I'm planning on going for this long, so... Definitely gonna need that stretch break now. So with that said, gonna take a quick intermission. When we come back, we'll continue through the rest of the levels here in World 8, starting out with the Roasting Rails. Stay tuned, be back here in just a few minutes. Alright, we're back, ready to go ahead and continue on here in World 8 for Donkey Kong. Right into another auto-scroller, everybody's favorite. And this is just like with that Rocket Barrel stage, not the easiest level to go through. Because it's World 8. They throw all the punches at you at this point. So, yeah, here's hoping. I remember this one being not the traditional minecart. These are the ones you can jump off of. So that's going to throw you for a loop at first. Always check on your right, or in this case left, for mirror stuff, or now I'm mirroring myself. That's what happens when I'm brain farting and think of the brain fart. Remember this part though, it's a little bit of a troll move. Oop. You don't actually go through it. Oh, I didn't mean to do that, but why not go around it? You know what? That's death now. You want to go under the barrel so you don't instantly miss your first secret. Because that, beginner's trap. Sometimes I blow and it just doesn't work. It's the distance or the timing or whatever, really. This is why they got rid of it after Returns. I don't even know why they bothered with it in Returns. It's definitely a random mechanic of all time. There you go. Jeez, donkey. Thankfully, you get like one little breather before the actual challenge starts when you get in here. Like, this is nothing. And they did that for a reason. There you go. Alright, now for the actual challenge. There's the other one. I remember they did 2 at the back. I just couldn't remember if it was up above or down below, because it's a 50-50 half the time. But thankfully now, because I don't need the bonus, I can just go back in the cannon here. Because what you're supposed to do is shoot cannon and then shoot again after you open the mouth. That's only a thing you have to avoid if you want the puzzle piece. That's it. And that's tight timing to make that jump. Almost missed that one too, again with the tight timing. Oh, hi. That fireball is very orange in this version. I think it's just because of the graphic uplift, but oh my god, that thing is like a sun. I swear at times though, I see certain things in the levels for this game and I think, man, this is the same crap I see in a ROM hack. Maybe that's where people get their inspiration. Just how the design of certain platformers are, like with the Donkey Kong Country games. That one you jump. Thought I had the duck. Yeah, this one's all about that timing. And that's the thing. When you get the timing right in this stage and do everything in one go, it's so satisfying. Man, is it tough. You're gonna have a lot of deaths on the first playthrough on this stage. Keep on getting this every time, too. I'm not even trying to go for it intentionally, it's just safer. At least for me. That jump is just so tight, too. Another section that'd be nice to have Diddy for the extra hit, but no hits. You're not gonna be able to hear this right now. I don't know if I can kill my noise gate. I don't know how well that's coming on stream, but I got a loud buzz from some electronic in this room all of a sudden. I think I know what it is. Just give me a minute. Yeah, that's exactly what I thought it was. It's my subwoofer. I don't know how well that came through on the stream. So, I have this pair of speakers that I've been using since 2013, I would say. They're over 10 years old. The subwoofer has been starting to go these past few years, I would like to say, not even few months. I don't know if it even happened. I don't know if you saw it when I did this. You might have. To fix it, no joke, you bang on the surface of it. And then it stops. Don't know why. I think it kind of screwed up the camera a little bit, so let me fix that. That should be better. Yeah, that's been fun. It's a fantastic pair of computer speakers outside of the subwoofer starting to go. Because when it buzzes, it's loud. I thought that was a UPS in my room for a second because I've been having a whole chemical problems with my backup power supply. That's a story I would love to tell you, but it's ongoing still. And I can't believe it is, because it should have been done 3 weeks ago. But here we are. So I'll tell that story at some point on a stream with my experience with APC after that's done. Those have been hubbing like crazy. Yes, I said those. I've been through 3 different UPSs. I thought it was one of those. It was my subwoofer. A problem I've already been used to. I just love how the problem is like so simple to figure out. It's a caveman solution. Did you try punching it? Oh yeah, my bad. I can't believe that happened on a stream though, because that's the first time it's ever happened on a stream, so you're all confused. I know exactly what was happening. Ooh, fire. It's no point. It's just delaying the inevitable. Every time. Every time, yeah, I think you can duck under the things. That's a dead no. That's my fault, because I had to fix my glasses to put back on my headphones. That's just a me thing. Did I even, like, put the volume back right? Yeah, I think I did. I'm still, like, it's been about a month using this newer microphone, but I'm still having to adjust the levels, because I'm still getting used to how much more sensitive it is. Second time that's happened. So, should be fine now, but it's too quiet, I just turned it back up. Stop doing that! Every time. Yeah, it's like the SpongeBob joke we had technology. Insert Patrick slamming something with the computer. That is sometimes, I swear, that's not how you're supposed to fix things, but I swear half the time, probably hitting it could be the solution. And I don't like how that is the solution for some things, but here we are. I know what's actually happening with that subwoofer and the reason why it's going, and that's why it's a fix. It's a band-aid fix, because it'll happen again at some point. But it's the components inside. The electrical components are starting to go, which is why they hum after so long. It's funny, the subwoofer's not even on. Like, the speakers are off. I don't use speakers a lot of times when I stream because of feedback. So, when it happens, when I'm off, yeah, that's even more confusing. Hey, Shelby Rice, how you doing? Alright, now I don't have to get that puzzle piece. I could just go, find you, maybe wait like a split second longer? I hit his head for a second, but whatever. Funny, I brought it up. I want to talk about, like, I don't want to go in detail with the story because it's an ongoing one, like I said. I do want to at least just preference the APC crap, just in a way of just TLDR, maybe don't buy their products. I've been having a terrible time, but I don't want to go into specifics until it's done. But I already said 4 UPSs I've been going through, like 3. I'm on 4 here very soon. I got everything, right? Yeah. See, I'm more paying attention to everything else but the level at this point. Yeah, that last puzzle piece, I'm prepared for it. I knew it was going to be in one of these last parts, because it does sneak up on you. It's kind of part of the trauma this game has built up. We're going to the next stage. I gotta clean up these glasses a little bit. I should be at Smoky Peak. I gotta at least I'll read the giant font, which more games need font that big, I'm just saying. Someone with glasses. I appreciate the bigger fonts. Less eye strain. You gotta love how they forgot about these levels after World 1 and then both World 7 and 8. They bring back this aesthetic for the very ending. I'm like, where were you all game? I forgot you could run on that. Oh, just bounced me right off. Alright, but this also not only is a silhouette stage, but yeah, Rambi's back. It's not the final time we see Rambi. He shows up, I think, one more time in this world. But unlike the last time we saw Rambi, there should be another one if I'm not mistaken. Later? I can't remember, so don't quote me on that. But this one is not as bad, I remember, for Rambi bonuses. Yeah, no, this is a great level. Yeah, didn't mean up, but I get it. I love the level. English. No one fails that language except everybody. Being K right here. You can't break the platform, so you gotta jump on top of it. Speaking of mean, I don't think I can get that now. It's like, just barely make the jump. I didn't think I could bounce off the enemy in time. But I did. This is a shocker. Take my time here because I start pooping out fire. Good, Rambi. Don't destroy the platform, Rambi. Yeah, they give me another one here, so we're good if we ever lose the Rambi. Although they start giving us shaking platforms, so we can't stay on these for too long. Thank you. I don't remember this stage really having, like, super cryptic puzzle pieces. The worst part I remember about this stage for puzzle pieces is just trying to grab certain ones. In terms of finding them, not as bad, because, yeah, they do a lot of stuff like this. Rambi, no! Alright, well. It was an honor knowing you, my friend. Oh, hey, not Rambi. I'll call you Rambi 2. Sequel everybody asked for. Yeah, this end also sucks. I swear, half the time I try to grab it. Nice. The bounce off the enemy completely killed the jump. I love how that happens. I was gonna say, the problem with the end is half the time I try to go get it, and then I clip the edge of the fire. So, by getting the end, there's a good chance I probably die. Proceeds to die after the end. Yeah, that's about right. We don't have any time to admire the background here. And that's all of them. That's the hardest one probably to look for, because it's off camera. I probably missed that one on first playthrough, wouldn't be shocked. I think that's our last silhouette level, sadly, though. Because I think there was only 3 in the game. So it ends on a high note. I like that one more than 7-1. I think that's the worst of the 3. But the aesthetic of it's really nice looking. Yeah, I was thinking maybe I should probably pit stuff for some lives here in a minute, because yeah, it's getting a little low. Not terrible, but we're close enough to the shop that this is the perfect time to do it. Yeah, I wish Spido Animal Buddy was in this. Yeah. Unfortunately, Rambi and then Squawks being the only 2 in this, a little disappointing. And then same for the sequel. I would love to have seen more. But, yeah. This is kind of the style I went with at this time. I don't know why, really. It was a creative decision, I think, more or less at the end of the day. That was the only level more than Rambi. I could have swore there was a level at the very end that had Rambi, but I might be thinking of Tropical Freeze. I probably am, because there's a lava level at the very end of Tropical Freeze, I think, that has Rambi, and that's probably the level I was thinking of. And I don't know why I thought it was in this title. That's an omen. Yeah, this stage is gonna get a little nerve-wracking fast. You can't blow those rocks out, so just Take your time. I think this is the stage I remember that has a really stupid puzzle piece to get, which normally you would want to take a hit for. Thinking this is the level in question. I'll find out here soon. Yeah, there's another section. Just take the hit if you have health. Does feel like they should have put a secret right here. But I think they do that actually in one of these stages. No, I remember this one. There is a secret in this section. It's just not where they're describing it. The secret is get all the crap. Because of course it is. Hey, do you want those goodies up there? They look great, don't they? Don't even bother. No, just don't. They're worthless. Oh, the bats from World 4. Haven't seen them in a hot minute. Pun not included. Yeah, that final boss with the 1 HP, I'm not looking forward to it. Honestly, that one I might either look up something ahead of time or just at least practice it on my own downtime on a cleared file. I don't want to be at that fight for 3 hours. But yeah, spoilers, that's not happening tonight, because I think that should be saved for the next and final session. Due to that one probably being an hour long if I don't do the final boss in it. I think it'll just make more sense. Plus, I have a feeling this game's gonna pull the same thing at the very end that Tropical Freeze does when you're playing the hard mode and just not show you credits. So I might want to have something prepared on standby for that reason alone. But yeah, cracked platforms on this one, as Aiden's pointing out. Or I just like to think of it as like the slightly more red ones. Because I didn't see the cracks when I was playing this on the Wii back in the day. Those are the platforms that retract. So just pay attention to those specific platforms and sections. The rest of these are safe. Time in there, though. No. Alright, now I'm safe. Yep, this was it. This was the one I was thinking of. Yeah, this one sucks. I gotta stay down here to start. That's how I get the N. That was already bad enough. We're not done. There's still more. Need a barrel for this, but how in the world do they expect me to do this on this mode? Because I haven't seen a barrel yet. You can't just roll into the wall. That would be too easy. Yep, I'll have to come back here. Let me just continue forward for the moment. And that was short-lived. I need a barrel, so where are they dropping me with a barrel? This is it. Forget it was the Diddy barrel they wanted you to use this for, which is even worse. Because in mirror mode, to get this straight, take no damage at all because you die. You gotta grab this, no Diddy, as a backup. You gotta get through this whole section here without losing the barrel. And there's bonus on top of that. Because unfortunately, I also need to get the K, or not the K, the N still. So I'm doing this again. Which thankfully this isn't that bad. It's just nerve-wracking because if I make a wrong jump, I'm back up top. And now I gotta get through this section. The whole time. You have to keep that barrel the entire way. And if you fail this bonus, please don't actually fail it. For the love of everything, don't fail the bonus. Because you gotta do all that again. This one's terrible. Never again. That sucks no matter the difficulty. That's the same on normal, same on mirror, doesn't matter which one. That's just terrible. It's over now. The bad bonus can't hurt you anymore. The rest of the stage can, though. That is just the unfortunate thing. This section does also suck without having Diddy because I can't hover, which has been a common complaint. So I don't have that forgiveness if I don't make this cycle correctly. Unfortunately, every time I die, I gotta do the end thing again. So I gotta wait here for all this crap. And then go through this section. Which, to be fair, it's just as nerve-wracking now as it was with the barrel, so not very different in Mirror. Because either way, I get hit there, I fail. That's a common theme. Like it's been the theme since level 1 or something. Alright, we just need the G. Which I remember that also being kind of nerve-wracking to get to, because you miss the jump, you probably just jump right in the lava. Because again, I'm more forgiving with the hover. Alright, the bad stage can't hurt you anymore. It's over. No more. Yeah, that wall, like, I will say, that wall is a lot more obvious now, because in the original Wii game, the coloring of that wall wasn't that different. I think it's just more apparent because of the HD textures and just the clarity of this version, because I could definitely tell there's something up with that wall now. But on the original Wii game, and even the 3DS one, it's just much harder to notice with the lower resolution. So that wall is very, very easy to miss on many first playthroughs, not knowing that's a bonus stage. Probably the worst one in the whole game. At least just for discovering. Not to mention just getting to it's terrible. Yeah, that's what I need that for. Yeah. Touche. I'll be back anyways. I already feel death incoming, so I'm just gonna go with the flow. Case in point, I just insta-rolled into that lava. The momentum on that platform is insane. Alright, this time hold this for longer. And don't miss my ride. Man, the timing for getting this without getting a hit is just gonna be kind of obnoxious. Because I know what you need to do for this, but without Diddy Kong and that extra hit, I'm probably gonna get clipped by the rock a handful of times. Okay, this is a much better cycle. I can actually grab the K now. That's nothing. It really feels like you should be rewarded for getting all those bananas in a bunch, because that's pretty difficult. No, I get jack all. Thanks. And yeah, you can't jump on these right away when they come out of the lava, because as the red implies, they are hot to the touch. As soon as you touch them, you're dead. Normally it's a hit, but you know, in this context, it's realistic. Where'd my jump go? The hesitation of Donkey Kong just ate my jump. That was just a bad cycle. Couldn't really move by the time the rock was closed, so I'll just take the L. Fine. Nice hit. That's one thing you never want to have touching your hairy booty, Donkey Kong. A fiery rock. Yeah, I can see what's gonna happen there. That's fine, we're just gonna chill back here, because all these platforms move, not just the one. Are we on a good cycle? That seems fine enough. Ah, but the momentum on the rock, dude. I'm just playing like this normal mode. You can't rush it too much because I normally can take damage. It doesn't help. A lot of games like doing that. And this is a game you can't do that in the mirror specifically. Like some of this I can rush, not all of it. Take this for some safety, because I can destroy a rock with one of these, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, say case in point. Unfortunately, I died in the process. Just gotta throw this now. Gets rid of the first rock, which is not as ideal, but you know what? That gives me some safety here. I can just jump over like this. There we go. Little nerve-wracking about Diddy Kong for the safety. These stay fiery for a while too, so you can't just go once these platforms are out. You gotta wait like a second and a half almost. You have a long waiting period. Which is why I died in the first rock we saw that was molten, because it just... I was just a little too fast. No, at least I got it. That one's kind of stupid to get without dying, to be fair. You have to wait almost until the thing is in the lava for the puzzle piece to spawn. It's unfortunate how long you gotta wait. That's fine. Take the death, get the puzzle piece. You know the drill at this point. Now you just play the level. Yeah, they do like this moving thing for like the beginning. See, case in point, I jumped on that a little too, or like a fraction of a second. They do this moving thing in the beginning, and then they just kind of stop near the end of the stage, which is kind of an interesting idea of a concept that they just abandoned. Which is like, all right, sure. I don't know why. There we go. That was probably a bad idea to roll there. I didn't mean to roll. My hand kind of slipped on the button as I jumped. Alright, sure. I swore I actually blew on the rock, but alright. Alright, again, we don't have to get this one anymore, so this one's kind of safer. And this should be a puzzle piece here. I'm gonna hit the checkpoint, and then we're gonna go back to blow. Oh, for which I gotta be on the edge. Now I'll blow the fan. Let me in. Let me in. Takes so long to enter the bonus stage. And I hate, it's one of these ones. After all the crap you go through, it's you make one mistake, you instantly get shot into the nether. But don't make a mistake. Simple as that. Least favorite bonus stage of all of them, because it's just so easy to hit that middle barrel. Yeah, the ending of this might as well just be a survival game by the end, but they kind of trained you for that idea with how the levels have been structured up to this point, that you're probably just going to deal with some sinking ship stuff. And that's kind of where they take it near the ending, like around here. Thankfully, that's it for the puzzle pieces. So I just need, it was the G? Okay. We've kind of experienced something like this with a K level already, so it's a similar concept to one of the K stages. Oh, that was a nerve-wracking jump. That was not how I was supposed to make any of that work. Big rock. Kind of hard to avoid with just Donkey. Ah, had a feeling. I knew that was going to happen because I had no clearance. I was afraid of jumping left because it's my only safe zone. This, again, way easier when not only can you fly, but also have that extra hit. Because now I have to do all this without taking any damage, which is nerve-wracking. Not helping. I had a thing in my eye for a second, which is why I went so far right. I'm handing off the left side, or the right side controller entirely. But yeah, at least this is at the checkpoint, so this section, if you die, it's not repeating like half the level to get here. It's not terrible. It is kind of a long drawn out process though. How did I not hit that last time? Yeah, no, this is when you can't even rush anyways. You take your time in the whole section because that's the whole point. At most, you may have to rush making a jump if you don't have a level clearance, but if you're in that kind of situation, you know you already screwed up. Seriously, what's with that top one's hitbox all of a sudden? I cleared it once, and now I'm not making it again. That is so weird. I'm gonna have to approach that from a different angle, because that gap, that looks pretty big, apparently isn't as big as it looks. Yeah, that somehow was safer, and that looked more nerve-wracking. There. Get me out of here. It's dangerous to stay here. I want out. Just a standard survival gauntlet. Again, the hitboxes on that were getting kind of weird near the end, because those gaps, I swear, look bigger than they actually were. If they look like they were a good, like, foot wide, they might as well have been like half a foot, which was kind of the opposite of what you think. Alright, this is the final stage in the game before the actual boss fight. Which... yeah, they throw a lot of the punches at you here at the very end. It's... I would say definitely a good way of capping out the main adventure. Ah. That definitely felt better after that last stage, having something in my eye, going through a bullet hell style section. Not fun. Alright, let's go ahead and do this. This, I do remember having a puzzle piece that if you don't check a certain section right away, you're punished for it. But it's also going to suck without Diddy Kong. Because of stuff like that. I thought the thing was coming up now, and it did not. Great. The first obstacle. Instantly no. I don't like this without Diddy. This stage is bad without Diddy. Yeah, the next stream for this is going to be the final one, because after this stage and the K level, all we're going to have left is the final boss and all of World 9. If I was just doing the Wii version, I would have less. So I probably would have saved this for later. Oh, that's right, that goes up. Yeah, I thought that looked suspicious. If we were just playing the Wii game, we would only have one stage for the ending, so I probably would have just pushed through the whole thing now, but that's not the case here. Because we're playing the HD version, it has the 3DS levels included, which makes it a whole new world for the level 9 stuff. Yeah, it's the only time a platform spawns after another one sinks, so if you're not paying attention to it, like I wasn't there for a moment, just catching up with chat, you just miss it. Now give me that. Really gotta be paying attention to the spawns on these platforms because without Diddy Kong, this is gonna be very nerve-wracking. I can already feel me missing a jump or two. Get wrecked. Case in point, that one comes out almost right when you sink in lava, which is a little too close for comfort, but thank goodness they give you a checkpoint right before it. I missed a K? I might have, which I thought I grabbed, but I think I grabbed that in a different life, that's why. Okay, yeah, it's over there. That's why I missed it, because again, I'm catching up with chat while also trying to play a game, so I'm not seeing the whole thing. It happens. I think I'm almost done too, because like my eyes are starting to get a little sensitive with my light. I need to keep it on so I'm not like a silhouette on this camera, which is unfortunate. If it gets to be too bad, I might swap to my PNG tuber here in a little bit, but I'm going to see how long it can last. Yeah, see, I was paying attention to everything else here. I missed that, which is fine, because that's a very easy K to miss. When you're paying attention to a lot of the moving hazards in the stage, the last thing you're seeing is the K come out of lava. One of the sneakier letters. I don't think anyone can blame me missing it when it's a blink and you miss it letter piece. Okay, do I have to repeat how I'm looking at a chat, playing a game, which sometimes I'm looking like this, meaning I'm only seeing about... In this context, it'd be on this side. I might see this much of the screen. I'm not kidding. That is legitimately how much I'm seeing if I'm looking over. So, that just happens. Like, I'm sorry, it's just gonna happen. Why do I keep on thinking this pops up like a second beforehand? Say if it pops up in 4 seconds, I think it's 3. And I don't know why. I think it's my mind just playing a million miles an hour for no reason again. Alright, there we go. Now we're good to continue the level. I love graphically how this level looks with the glowing background, because that's a really nice touch. No, okay. But the problem I have in this section is how the platforms kind of spawn in. And they also are kind of wide, so you might clip the edge of one trying to make a jump. And that was a hitbox. By the way, happy 700. I just noticed we just passed it, so happy 701. World 2 and World 7, or World 8, excuse me, your favorite visually. I can see that, yeah. I think 8 is probably my favorite visually speaking, just because of all the stuff that cram into it. I just really like the lava aesthetic for this. But World 2 is pretty good, too, because of the beach stuff. Yeah, this is going to be kind of bad without an extra hit. These things move in very specific patterns, but the rocks are a little jagged on their movement. I just have to be careful on timing on my jumps. Yeah, the backward water in this version looks horrible. Yeah, something about the translation of this game getting to the Switch. Just one of the many things that got broken in this translation. It's just unfortunate how many graphical things got bugged going to this release. Because it is a solid version of the game, minus some graphical errors, and then the whole multiplayer being bugged because of that frame window issue. So you just can't bounce off enemies in multiplayer. If it wasn't for that specific gameplay thing, gameplay-wise, this would have no problems. And then graphically, everything else you can just kind of look past. Because it doesn't affect the main game, it's just kind of, you point and laugh. But I can't remember the studio's name, but again, this studio that worked on this Country Returns port, they were known for some shoddy ports of other games in the past, so they don't have the best track record, sadly. Like, gameplay-wise, it's not much you can screw up here based on the, well, base that they used for the 3DS port. And unfortunately, that had its own set of bugs, which somehow found their way into this one. Ironically, that's safer than doing this section normally. It would be nice if they gave you a checkpoint during all this. What do you mean they don't? That's just one long challenge. There's the lava. Say, can we get a move on level? Oh, my jump got eaten there in the last second. Let's go. Oh my god. I just barely didn't have enough time. Oh, my jump didn't get eaten. I could have made it out of there. I'm so mad. I clicked the button and nothing came out. I was like, oh, good. This is gonna kill me, isn't it? Somehow it didn't until it got to the really fast part. Which is unfortunate, because now I gotta get the letters again, but at least the puzzle pieces are done, so I don't have to go on my way for puzzle pieces now. I will put that one puzzle piece in the middle, because it's safer than dealing with the fireball. I earned that one. Yeah, the rest are pointless. This is the worst letter, in my opinion, probably to get for this kind of challenge, because you can't take a hit at all for it. Which normally, if you're unsure if you're going to make the jump or not, you just take the hit. I can't remember if this lava rubber bands or not, so I hope if I get far enough ahead, it should be fine. It will by the time I get to the barrel cannon. But besides the barrel cannon part, I think it should be fine. Why did I think that had a gap? There's no gap. Although you can hear the crunch when I get squished in that one. I will give him at least some credit on that sound effect. You don't like dying, but at least there's a audible flare for dying. Yeah, for whatever reason, yeah, the rubber banding of this lava is just kind of comical. It goes from snail speed to just like, it's a Sonic game kind of speed. He's going as fast as that blue hedgehog, which makes no sense, but here we are. That's a video game for you. Nice. How'd I get a partial jump when I was still holding A? I swear, man, that happens a lot more using these Switch controllers than it did on the Wii. It's just something about like how the buttons on these feel a little more mushy compared to a Wiimote. Like, I think I'm holding the button all the way, but I guess I'm not. I let go, which I don't feel it. Because other than the mushier buttons, I really like the Switch Pro controllers, both Switch 1 and Switch 2. Just, the buttons sometimes, I just drop an input because of certain issues like you just seen. Like, as much as I don't like Switch Joy-Cons, and that kind of goes for the Switch 2 as well, because they are a little bit bigger, but they're still Joy-Cons at the end of the day, so a little too small to use for most stuff. I will give credit, the buttons on those controllers are really good. They're nice and clicky, but they're very responsive. Don't get me started about using it as a mouse, though. Dear God, that's Hand Cramp City. I'm looking forward to playing Prime 4 with the mouse mode stuff, but I know I'm probably going to do that for like a few minutes if it's not mapped well, because I'm gonna just instantly get hand cramps. I can just feel it already. That's the only thing I'm worried about with Prime 4's controls. It has nothing to do with the game. It's all because of the hardware. Alright, here we go. Let's get out of here. There we go. Now I can go fast again. Don't care. Just get me out. Yeah, Galaxy games are great with Joy-Con because they just feel like Wii remotes at that point. In fact, you got more buttons than a Wii remote, so it is somewhat better. The only thing I don't like is, like I said, for the Joy-Con 2 specifically, when you're holding it like this, normal controller, it's great. When you're holding it like this, you can see the problem. Your hand arc is what I don't like, and I've experienced that with a couple different mouse mode games so far, where I can only play them for a few minutes before my joints start locking up. So if you're like playing standard control, it's fine. But once you go mouse, the ergonomics aren't really there. I might have to get an attachment for the Joy-Con or something to fix that. Alright, but this is the only stage you may notice here. It has all the puzzle pieces. I tried to see if there's a workaround for it. You can't move on to the next section in 8K unless you collect the puzzle piece in that given section. The puzzle pieces spawn the barrels. And you need those barrel cannons to go to the next section. So, we're gonna get the puzzle pieces here, but they're gonna be ghost artifacts, unfortunately, instead. There's no way. This is the only stage in the game for both Returns and Tropical Freeze, even. Because Tropical Freeze doesn't have this problem anywhere. But this is the only stage you can't skip puzzle pieces with. You have to get them to trigger the next event. I'm actually shocked about that. Because Tropical Freeze somehow fixes that problem. But unfortunately, you can't beat 8K without the puzzle pieces. It just won't let you go. This one also, I don't like this beginning. Like for this mode, oh, this is gonna be a nerve wracker. I need to collect all of the items in each area to proceed. I gotta get all the banana coins here, but yeah, the beginning here is kind of nerve wracking on timing. Because you don't have that big of a window. I usually just take a hit here and just deal with it. But because I don't have that luxury, the beginning's the worst, in my opinion. After this, it's not that bad. Yeah, you can go over, but then you have to go back around anyway, so this coin eventually. You might as well just maybe peek grab. You know, I'm gonna just do that for safety, because I can probably jump around this on a better cycle. Yeah, that's safer. Somewhat. Yeah, this stage is like, this is a gauntlet stage too, so only one heart's gonna make this really bad. Oh, that worked, okay. So yeah, you can't proceed until you grab this puzzle piece. And it's the only time in the game they do that, and I don't know why. A little nerve-wracking for what I was wanting to set up with this game, but you know, it is what it is. So just pretend the puzzle pieces we're grabbing, we haven't grabbed them. Because I can't really do much outside of hacking my game to fix that. And I can't do that for the Switch. But thankfully, you know how far you're in the stage by the puzzle pieces you have. So when you got 3, now you know you're in section 4. There's 5 sections total because they only have 5 puzzle pieces. So it's an easy way to keep track of how much of the stage you got left. Oh, that was a little too close. I don't like this. That's why I don't like this. Because I'm too close to the edge. The dodge one, I have to put myself literally in the death zone. It's funny how much easier the stage gets after you deal with the first hazard, because then the rest of it kind of feels... It's like they put the worst part in the beginning, kind of just as an apology. Because once you get this part out of the way, the rest of this isn't really that bad. I think the final section, section 5, is pretty difficult if I remember correctly, but sections 2, 3, and even 4 to an extent aren't that bad. This would be worse if that was a much longer section. By the end of this, I'm going to have all my 999 coins again, so I'll be able to buy back some lives. Which will set me up for the ending, which is good. Yeah, this is normally way easier when you know, I don't know, hover. It's just a normal thing. That makes all these sections much easier. Okay, yeah, this is the last section. This one's kind of bad with 1 health. I think there's 5 waves of this in total, if I remember correctly. This is where having a hover ability would be nice. That was the final one, too. You have to stay outside and then come right back in. You barely have enough wiggle room for that. With a hover, it's good. With extra hits, there's no challenge. Just take the hit if you're unsure you're gonna make it. But here, no forgiveness. Just do it, perfect, forehead. Hey, Chad Miller, how you doing? Okay, that was my bad. Like I say, when you look over, that's when everything goes wrong. The curses of a streamer. Actually having the multitask. You know, even though the stage is pretty hard, it is actually a pretty decent stage to grind out these banana coins if you're constantly replaying it. I wouldn't say this is the best stage to grind, not even close, but it's not a bad one if you just were struggling the stage for a bit and constantly replaying it. You do get a good amount of money for this. That's the worst part on this section, though, I would say, the very ending, because you don't have that much room. They just have to kind of slide to the edge and hope. I can't imagine doing the stage without the run button, by the way. I hope you learned 8 worlds in at this point what that button is if you were playing the Wii game. I made that, come on. That's so dumb, that was the ending. That's the second time that's happened too, that's the worst part. I've done this before with like 1 HP, so I already know this is very nerve-wracking. This is not the first time I felt that feeling here. But every time you have to deal with it. Just becomes even more nerve-wracking. And the fact they make you do that twice is probably the most egregious part. Because doing that once enough is already hard for most players, but doing it twice? Man, you're really asking a lot. I thought that wasn't making it for a second. That felt a little too spaced out. So I don't normally like going on cycle 1. Why does it feel like these guys lined up on different cycles this time? And I don't know why, because that was the easier way of actually dodging. They didn't give me that forgiveness before. Alright, sure. Hopefully we can do that again if we have to replay this. I don't want to. I imagine this must have looked pretty cool if you were playing on 3DS with a 3D on. Never really done that myself, so I don't really know. Alright, well, I guess we get to see the cycles the same. This jump is a little hard to make twice, because the first time is not that bad. It's the second jump, because you're worried about hitting the spike balls again on the way up. That's why I keep on jumping a little too late, because I'm worried about, because it's depth of field. They look closer than they are during that second jump, at least to me. I've always kind of had a trouble with some depth of field stuff in some games because it's judgment calls. Sometimes it's just easy enough to make a bad call because of distance. This is your first DK game, nice. I mean, it's not a bad one to start. I think this is a really good starting point, and with the 3D one specifically, yeah, that's the better way of playing it because it's no motion control. Can't imagine some of the later levels when they zoom things out were easy on that version because of the, again, zoomed out camera. But it's a solid version of the game, honestly. There's not much of a reason to go back now because of the Switch version. It's the 3D version, but in HD. I guess if I just stick a little closer to the left during like the beginning and such, I guess that's how I'm getting that cycle. Yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, no, going back to this being a first game in the series, I know a lot of people that kind of started with this game as their first Donkey Kong Country, and it's a good starting point in the franchise. It's a good balance between its difficulty and just more fair kind of gameplay. It is hard, don't get me wrong on that one. But in some ways, it's a little more fair than the Super Nintendo games. Because some of the secrets in those games are really hard to find. Just not helping. I can't make jumps because hitboxes. Just clipping the edge of them ever so slightly. Really wish I had less momentum when I'm moving around on these. Trampolines give you a little too much at times. There we go. As long as I get that final coin, spikes are gone. We're in that hard at that point. And now I get to go back on autopilot because sections 2, 3, and 4 aren't really anything special. It's just section 1 and section 5, I think, are the worst. It's kind of funny how it begins hard, kind of becomes easier over time, and then goes back the hard to end it. And it's really hard, which is kind of weird pacing on the final K level's difficulty. Because yeah, this is the final temple level. After this, we do have more K stuff because of 9. World 9 in general was supposed to be the final K level, but obviously that's not the case here. We have a lot more, thanks to this being a port of the 3D version, which had more levels. Give me that. I think I gotta do that section again if I don't grab the coin. I can't remember, because I haven't really missed these coins. I think maybe like once. Alright, here we go. Final time. Make this and you're done. It's that final, like I said, it's depth. It's depth, because it's so easy to judge on the first one, but the second one, I don't know why, man. It's the same amount of timing, but it's just harder for me to judge the second one. It's just something how I'm seeing the depth of field for that final set of spikes. Because I don't want to get clipped by them. Or I just use Diddy and cheese it. Because you can just hover in the middle, and you're fine. I will say though, this is a good challenge to end these temple levels on. It's definitely up there for the ending part, because this section, like I said, like sections 2, 3, and 4 aren't really that bad. It's the final section you really start to feel it, and that's probably a good way to cap out temple stuff. You know, I'm gonna try the left side. I don't know why, just change the pace. Yeah, same outcome, that's what I thought. The timing, like I said, with depth of field, I gotta be jumping earlier, and I'm jumping late, because my brain's saying jump this time period, which is not correct. Because I remember doing this in, like, Mario 3D Land to some extent on the 3DS too. When I was playing that game, I did have some depth of field issues there too. And mainly, I wasn't playing with 3D, because honestly 3D on the 3DS kind of gives me a bit of a headache. So I don't really play with it outside of maybe like 10 minutes of that. Just to kind of get an idea of how the game could look in that 3D mode. So I definitely was having some trouble in like the later half of 3D Land, because depth of field in that game really does want you to play with that 3D slider turned up. Good luck if you're on 2DS. That's physically impossible. So I remember having some problems with that. That game's not bad. I think it's alright. I just thought it was kind of like there. It was probably more of a thing of its time that I should have played, but I didn't have a 3DS when it came out. So I didn't get to play it until like 5 years later. And by the time that came out, we had 3D World, which I think is just a much better 3DS platformer. Like, with the 3D name of the two is what I mean. It's kind of weird to describe this because I don't like the name for 3D Land, 3D World, because it's really hard to describe it. I just think how they handle things for 3D World, I think it was just a little bit better. Kind of felt like with 3D Land, they were mainly focusing the levels around that 3D gimmick in mind, so if you weren't playing with it on, it definitely did have a lot of weird depth perception issues, which I was definitely feeling in the later half. But I still enjoy my time with it. I remember 100%ing it, but I did miss like 1 star on my file because I died enough in one level that it activated like the special Tanuki suit. I never grabbed it, but it was still enough to put a black mark on my file, which I don't like that. That was kind of dumb. I think they fixed that for 3D World, so as long as you didn't grab the power-up, you didn't get that star removed, which I never understood that as a concept for the true 100% stuff. Like, why remove the stars if you grab the helper item? I think that's a little much, because you never know that when you're first playing the game. So it kind of feels like you're getting punished for it. In the same sense of, like, using an item in Devil May Cry or Bayonetta. Use an item, your score goes way down. Like, then what's the point of using an item? I won't do it. I'm probably due for a revisit on 3D Land. Like I said, I'm a little more critical on it because it's a fun game, but I just have some depth perception issues with it. That's just more of a me thing, I would say. As you can tell with how this has been going. There you go, my god, finally. See, when I said I had to jump earlier than I have been, as soon as I do that, it's fine. That's just my depth perception not being that great in games. Oh yeah, Bowser's Fury is amazing. I think that is a very solid game. My only complaint with Bowser's Fury, and this is a good complaint to have, it's not long enough. I want more game. That's a mark of a good title. If my major complaint with it is that I need more, because I'm having so much fun. Oh, now it's over. I guess I'll go back and play it. I need to go back and play it now with the Switch 2 update to it, because it's supposed to run better and look a little bit cleaner. Plus, I think it also has HDR support, so I was like, there's a reason to go back. But, no, that was it for World 8. All we have left now is the final boss of the game. This fight is gonna be rough. I'm gonna be honest here, because this fight is a gauntlet. With it being the final boss in the game, there's a lot of stuff that goes on in the fight. It, on a good day, can take you about maybe 10 minutes. This won't be my good day when I get to it. You know that. I'm gonna die a lot. So that's why I'm getting the lives now and preparing for it. For next and the final session. Because next time around, we only have one last thing to do in the main game. And that is to finish up World 8 with its final boss. Then after that, every level in the main campaign will be completed in mirror mode. But we still have World 9 Cloud to go through, so there will be a victory lap. So it won't be like a 1 hour stream. This might make it 2 hours. We'll see. I might be on the final boss for like an hour plus. Who knows? So that's going to be it for this session. We'll be finishing this up next week. So current plans, this is going to be finished up for next Tuesday, 7 p.m. Eastern. That's going to be its said day. So look forward to that. But in terms of the schedule this week, I posted it. We're just shifting around some things because I normally stream on Wednesdays, but not this week and probably next week as well. Since I want to look at that Kirby Air Riders demo. That's on Saturday. So I'm just going to make it easier myself. And the 3 days we stream are Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday. Just so I can check out that Air Riders demo. So join us back here on Thursday when we take a look at the questionably why it was delayed so many times, Sonic Rumble. And then we actually get to see how that finally plays. Because that comes out tomorrow. And I'll be streaming it on Thursday instead. Because that day should also be, if I'm reading times correctly, a Sonic Racing Crossworlds Festival. So I figure I'm probably not going to be on Rumble for long. We'll be playing Racing Crossworlds after the fact. You look at the Yakuza stuff. And then Saturday's Kirby Air Riders, as I mentioned. 7 p.m. Eastern all these days. So it's going to be exciting. But that's pretty much it. So thanks everyone who came out for this one. This was definitely a lot of fun. More progress than I expected tonight, because we cleared out World 7 and all of World 8 but the boss. I legit thought I was going to be on that boss in World 7 way longer. that's probably the highlight of this whole series for overall shock value, for me at least. So I'm glad about that. It's cool. Well, that's it. I'm gonna not drag this one out any longer. I'm out of here. Oh yeah, that's right. This black screen because of the fact I died last time, so my intro kind of died with me. Save the outro. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. And I'll see you back on Thursday for some Sonic stuff. Have a good night, everybody. Take care.